Alrighty, fans, go ahead and open up your playbills.
The visiting lineup first, Rob.
28 bust out your scorecards. Here comes tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting York Revolution. Leading off the designated hitter, number 13, Zach Stanza. Batting second, playing second base, number 17, Ryan Dent. Batting third, and new catcher, number 16, Zayas Tahita. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 21, Michael Burgess. Batting fifth, shortstop, number 34, Carlos Dreamville. Batting sixth, third baseman, number 14, Ryan Pounds. Batting seventh, playing center field, number 1, Travis Witherspoon. Batting eighth, playing left field, number 11, Derek Robinson. And batting ninth, right fielder, number 10, Jared Mitchell. Starting pitcher for the Revolution tonight is number 26, Logan Williamson. And the manager for York, number 40, Mark Mason.
All right.
And now, here's your starting lineup for your Sugarland Skeeters. Leading off the playing second base, number 7, Josh Prince. Batting second and playing first base, number 16, Travis Scott. Batting third, right fielder, number 29, Jeremy Barfield. Batting fourth, shortstop, number 4, Kevin Aarons. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 14, Lance Sawatsky. Batting sixth, center fielder, number 6, Derek Miller. Batting seventh and doing the catching, number 9, Wilfredo Rodriguez. Batting eighth, left fielder, number 5, Joe Benson. Batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 23, Derek Piles. And your man on the mound, starting pitcher, number 19, Bobby Blevins. And the manager of your Sugarland Skeeters, number 8, Gary Gagne.
All right, we're gonna go straight into Swatson. Just mute, just spacebar, and bring me up.
The national anthem is 3. Can you zoom into the graphics area?
30 seconds. Go music.
How was the video?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold that Adam.
Hey, Adam, you still on 3? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the best mascot in the Atlantic League. Here comes Swatson. Swatson is brought to you by HEB. HEB, here everything's better.
Tyler to Rachel. Rachel is the stream.
Does anybody know what channel Jeremy is on? Every channel.
Rachel, this is Tyler. Can you
No,
page
they're not.
when you come back to 1, please?
Reserve seats, yes sir. Yes sir. What's next?
We'll do first pitches in 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yep.
Poor Tom's worse.
Yeah.
I just feel like one of those old baseball games. Up to Joe for the. You know, shake hands.
Yeah.
I don't know how your routine was.
Yeah.
But you told me it was in walk. Like 6 a.m. Coffee.
So this is good to start.
I normally take a shit by the 30.
30. I just think it's hilarious.
Oh. So you have to make customer service.
Yeah.
He's there.
Okay.
But I go
There's one person
depends
I
on
do.
depends on
There's
what I take.
2 Little League teams
Pre-workout
that are
or
supposed to be in the
what?
field for baseball buddies.
Could give me
So you have to
spin
be
gap
down.
or anything.
Hey, Sally, do you have all 8 first pitches?
You have all 14.
Do you have the 73 first pitches?
Hey, what was that?
Do you have all 8 of your first pitches?
What music are we playing for first pitch?
Sorry, I missed it again.
Whatever.
I like to play like center field.
First pitches?
Friday nights, I like to play like upbeat.
Little Rebecca Black.
I'm gonna play I'm the One featuring Greg.
Little Friday.
Greg Ross. That's the one I'm playing right now. I'm the One.
You can play that next.
Uh-huh.
I like that song.
So everyone's like everyone's now, so like just take a break, like just like on the wire.
Shane, they took our Wonderland off Sirius XM, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, I just had a problem with it. Like,
I know. I didn't realize they like changed the station.
that's the Channel 18 used to do that. They just do like watch over the radio, do about the radio.
It's like an auxiliary
That's
station.
that's right. However, I am digging the Beatles too.
Right.
Yeah.
Big time.
Sally, are you ready for first pitches, Miss Sally?
I'm looking back with the credit Kessler.
I see you now.
Fish Trivet.
Trivet! Trivet, rivet.
Why do they put it as triangle?
Because they've been going
We don't know.
Alright, we're ready on there.
I need to put a sign on that fridge. Close me.
All right, here we go.
Shut it off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, I ask you to turn your attention to the field for tonight's ceremonial first pitches. First up, ladies and gentlemen, we would be remiss if we didn't make this announcement. Leading the parade is Skeeters front office personnel, Miss Sally Weir. Sally is celebrating a very special day, ladies and gentlemen. It is her 500th day without a car fire. Congratulations to you, Sally. First up for first pitch is Dylan celebrating birthday. Dylan, ready to get started. Next up, we've got Cameron with a birthday. Cameron, when you're ready, it is your pitch. Next up is Will. Will, happy birthday to you, buddy. When you're ready, I can fire. We got some arms out here tonight. From the Harmony School of Innovation Academy, Tristan Rock.
Stretch.
And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the announcement from Marie Shirley.
I was the one who was sitting in the office.
The lefty. Next up, we've got Boone. Boone, welcome to Constellation Field, buddy.
Get out there. And I was like, all right. And then I get out there. And
Next up, Trace. Welcome to Constellation Field.
how are you walking around there? You need to get up here. I was like,
And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the city manager of Full Shore, Mr. C.J. Snipes.
Wesley?
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for all of our first pitches here this evening.
Adam to Tyler.
Go ahead.
Hey, when you read C players out, you're gonna read off C players by position and not just let them all run out again, are you?
That's
Ideally.
Right.
we got like 12 teams on there.
I know you have like 4,000 teams. Sally, can you please make sure the team runs out by position tonight? Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and go arrow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know one of the most important things we do here at Constellation Hill is make sure that you fans have a great time. But right now, we're going to take the time to
Put all
introduce
three of them up,
you to
Rob.
one young lady that's going to make sure that happens. Sugarland Skeeters are proud to introduce to you my very good friend Jessica, along with the Texas Direct Auto SWAT team. Jessica, happy Friday!
Thank you, Shane. Happy Friday to you as well. It's finally the weekend, Constellation Field. Get excited. Alrighty, I'm down here with our first winner of the night. This is my friend Leslie, and she's our winner thanks to Aaron.
Number 126, Rob.
You've already won this one. You're back in
Number
ball.
126.
See those two big yellow foul holes out there?
12.
If anyone either player hits the ball off the foul hole during the game, you'll be a winner of $500. But Shane, who's our holiday leader?
That Holiday Cleaners cleanup batter of the game is shortstop number 4, Kevin Aarons. The fans. Now, Mr. Aarons gets an RBI. We're going to give away some free dry cleaning, and the first lucky row tonight, Section 12, Row D. Aaron gets an RBI. You guys are going to win some free dry cleaning courtesy of Holiday Cleaners. And Holiday Cleaners all around Fort Bend County. Got 5 locations to serve you. Richmond, Roseburg, Sugarland. Guarantee 100% satisfaction. And all the dry cleaning services, make sure you go to the box. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field tonight's umpiring crew. Under home plate, Jim Tatum. G. Liggins pulls the first base duties this evening. And third base umpire tonight, Mr. John Spear.
Maybe getting dark a little bit early here tonight, boys.
Oh, so one of the complaints, the major ones, was
What, on
games.
Facebook or something?
No, from just fans. Like they send out an email sometimes to everybody. It's like, thanks for coming out to the game. We approve it. The one that appeared all the time was game never starts on. And so Kyle talked to me about it. He said, first of all, not fair. Somebody needs to talk to Gary, the church, and tell them to fuck up. Because we're always ready to go at the same time. Right. But if the players
Like this
need to run
process
some
right
shit,
here.
like,
Right. And he sits there and fucking talks, dude.
yeah. It's like I can't make them go faster. They gotta warm up.
Like they should be taking the field. Did you ever talk to him?
Get her done, baby. Hey, mow it down. Who is it tonight?
Floyd's. Talking about what? No. I will. I'm gonna have to tell him nicely, like, dude,
I'm happy.
I'm gonna schedule somebody, like, I'm gonna have to remove you from priority number 1. Because I have to. Sorry. Like, I still want you to work, but I need somebody that can be here. Right. I'm glad he has a job.
Okay,
I gotta
that's
make it-
why he's not. That's why he did it last year, like every night.
Yeah, he didn't have a job last year.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Oh, by the way, so are you still looking?
For a job.
Oh,
You guys, the teachers, your production.
Good. Yeah, sure. That's, it will. But it's so good.
I got told to bring in something.
So there's a charger right there, like past this wall.
Okay.
Back on the first one.
Right here.
It's right there.
Oh, okay, thanks.
oh, you brought the craft?
Here's the plan. I'm gonna take these 3 and I'm gonna switch them out with legends.
Oh, I love it.
We're gonna have 3 new ones.
For you.
Good idea.
Just gotta figure out where they stash them.
You steal it from me. Drop
Yeah,
it.
Start and stop.
that's what Donnie did.
I was playing in Toledo. Jose Costanza, I played against him for like 4 years. The 3rd year that we played him, they did this Seinfeld where he's like, "Can't stand ya, can't stand ya," every time he came up to the bat. It was awesome. Can't stand ya. Woo.
Sally is the team
Where's
ready.
Cody?
Huh? Where's Cody?
Done, yeah,
It's with Danielle. Danielle's
I
on
think it's hilarious that Scott's bought it and started calling it Daniel also.
We're good? Alright, let's send them.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
All right, Skeeters fans, get up on your feet and welcome to the field, your Atlantic League champion, Sugarland Skeeters.
Good. You know what?
Taking available to Skeeters tonight, the Dick's Sporting Good Baseball Buddies, Blue Little League, Fairland Cardinals, Katy Pony, Pinto 8 Indians, St. Teresa Catholic School Griffins, and the Katy Pony Rockies. Left fielder Joe Benson. Center fielder Derek Miller. Right fielder Jeremy Barfield. Third baseman Lance Sawatsky. Shortstop Kevin Aarons. Second baseman Josh Prince. First baseman Travis Scott. Catcher Wilfredo Rodriguez. And your starting pitcher Bobby Blevins.
Hey, Robbie, get ready to fade. Hold on. You're good. So, gotta wait for these kids to.
Popcorn just doesn't want to stay with that.
Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please remain standing. Gentlemen, if you would, please remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Performed this evening by Christiana Cesara.
So you're on the field right there.
Now, make sure your mic's up.
Can you see by
Don't fall in love.
She's on 15.
Yeah, don't fall in love.
13 or 12.
You gross, nasty.
Don't be a mom
Whoa. You can't say that. Did you hear what he said?
I think I had something to do with him saying
that.
Starting on time now, Dash. Not with this one, sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Hey, wireless one, Jessica. What is this?
Magic Dragons.
I already dig it. What's it called?
Alrighty.
New?
Looks like my good friend Jessica's down on the field with an excited young Skeeter fan. Ready to help get this
Mic
game
up.
started. Jessica, who do you have with you tonight?
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm down here with Peyton. She's ready to get the game going. Take it away. Take off.
Very
Alright.
good job. And this
Not
sports
just
game
kids,
brought
here we
to you
go.
by Tradition Roofing.
You're ready.
Tradition Roofing is a professional roofing company with a very simple philosophy. Operate quality roof systems at an honest price to back up that work. One of the best warranties in the industry. See what Tradition Roofing can do for you. Visit them on the web at traditionconstruction.com. Tradition Roofing, built on a tradition of excellence.
Hey, Bob, pump it a little bit.
Is he retired? What's construction now?
Really?
Yeah, he was coaching the select team.
There's Deacon. They're growing up.
The Tigers, no. School Tigers.
Oh, really?
Did he lose that?
What?
And leading up for the Revolution, designated hit number 13, Jose Costanza.
Costanza. Play with the Indians growing up, but I play against them. And
Stanza?
yeah, so what he would do is, I don't know if he still does it, but count, he's like this, wait till he gets 2 strikes. What's that? Hey, go put a button down, he can run.
Can you defend or DH?
See how he does that? And
84. How about that?
What?
The speed pitch.
It works.
It's fucking working.
What is he throwing here? It's fastball.
What?
I think the radar gun's not in a good angle. His old self beats that out.
Second baseman number 17. Dan.
It's only been 4 days since we had a game. I feel like out of practice up here. It's weird.
That's all right. You're going to have plenty of opportunity to get back in the swing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by Tuesday, we'll feel like experts. Dude, Troy's so legit, man.
How's it sound, Bobby? I love it.
Hey, you like the stream?
Huh?
You don't watch the stream?
I do, but
Hey, you got it, man. Hey, I'm telling you, that's a milestone. It ought to be publicly recognized.
I think he's going towards first base.
Donnie said to, we have anybody up in the box during the stands tonight?
Yeah, he wants to calibrate it that way.
It seems a little better.
It sucks. Why?
I'm not touching it, but it should be over where that far would go.
So the mom basically just, first of all, we have to check in, right? And she was upset for 3 days.
Oh, well.
She was upset that they
Am I
didn't
up?
get an update today and say, hey, we're
Yeah.
I'm just gonna skip it.
Second, they didn't know if
You're
they
up.
should bring the cake or
Alright.
not.
I didn't know.
And then third is that they didn't have a reserved table out there. And they were confused if they paid so much money, why did they have to reserve a table? Why would, being a picnic buffet?
I like the effort.
I told them they couldn't do that. They couldn't reserve a table.
That's number 16. Say it's David.
She told me that common feedback was she met y'all marketing. She met the marketing group. Or something. She's like, I know you got a new marketing group, but y'all need to get your basically the short term. We need to do their short together. We need to do that.
Well, they paid $400 a piece.
Oh, we got it. Oh, we had him.
I didn't know if I needed to do anything because I already told them this is what you need, this is what you need, and they're like, she expected it. That's the only part I did. Oh yeah, she must have followed up.
Which one was she? The ones that are having the morning together?
Yeah.
Two.
To get Cameron and Cameron and Britain and yeah, they seem happy once I told them my itinerary. But I don't know if that's
First baseman number 21, Michael Burgess.
See where?
34.
Just let me
Yeah, it's the one without a name. You can take it.
I know
Energy hacks, mascot race,
I
Bud
thought
Light.
it was 15. It was 16.
Don't you love birthdays?
Big
I
bad
love it
job.
more when I'm scoring a game.
Birthdays always have issues. I don't understand. Because the parents, it's their kid. One little thing goes wrong. My kid's not having a good time. Well, actually, it looks like they are. But
Here's what I have to say about every. Did you hear what they just told me? Okay, so I looked at their birthdays. They said, "Can we reserve a table out there?" I said, "No, we don't reserve tables. If you get there early enough, maybe. If you want to get out there and have someone hold it."
Right.
But I said it's
What,
open
out there?
seating.
it's a free for all.
Picnic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said we're not going to reserve anything. And then she said, "Well, how do we know when and where to be?" I said, "I'm going to send you an itinerary." So, like always, when I send them their invoice, I send them an itinerary, and I have email proof that I did that. So, if they're having a bad time, it's their own fucking fault. They each paid $400. I made $80.
Yeah.
You made $80.
Well, subtract food.
Right. You made
I
like
made like 50.
You made like $10.
I made like 10.
10%. So 40, and then take out food.
And then take out gas, you made negative $5.
Yeah, you owe the company $17.
The baby out there, he ain't running.
Energy hacks.
Started off like Tyler.
Nah.
What's taking so long in there? You got a chance to really do something special.
Consider switching to a push motor instead. You're not only saving Mother Earth, you're saving a few bucks in the car.
All right, fans, for the mascot race. My friend Jessica is down on the first base side with tonight's contestant. Jessica, who do you have with you?
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'm down here with the familiar face, Kaden. She got the game going, and now she's ready to take her turn running in the mascot race against Swanson. All right, Kaden, take your place over first over there. Swanson's got his lead at second. You ready over there, Swanson? All right, on your mark. Get set, go! All right, she's off to a quick start. And Swanson's already almost to third. Come on, Kaden, you can do it.
Music.
Oh, what's that? Oh, that looks like a fun ballpark. Take some ice cream, Swanson. Oh, Swanson, you're doing this where you're supposed to go. And just like that, Kaden has one more race. Congratulations. Better luck next time. Swanson, roll that ice cream. Back to you, Shane.
All right, fans, this heading is a Bud Light Thirst inning. Make sure to visit our concessions for a great selection. These cold Budweiser beers. Perfect for a Friday evening in the ballpark. Just a friendly reminder, fans, sale of alcohol does end upon the conclusion of the seventh inning. Here's having beer with friends, friends with beer. Bud Light, even some friends.
Why are having that?
Hey, why is Palmero back in here?
That's Miller's.
That's Miller's now?
Yep.
No, it's Miller's right here.
Almero's is for Kevin Aaron.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Just
Check out that
filling in for
We
it?
don't have it song. He gave us a
That's
song.
all.
He gave us a song
Check
later.
out this dude's
So
beer.
we're just doing that right tonight.
It was too late?
Yeah.
How long should we throw that thing in there? Wow. And leading on for your Sugarland Skeeters, second baseman number 7, Josh Prince. You can conditions that thing? That beer? Dude, that thing is like, that's serious.
Jay, what number did you get?
Huh?
What number did you get?
I'm number 3, baby. What's yours?
5.
Hey, did we turn mics up in here?
Do you not hear it?
So for this Magis kids, what
No.
song? What kind of song?
school, and then picked again in the 27th round, also by the White Sox at the Pensacola Junior College. This one is a strike.
Huh?
3 balls and a strike
You're hoping
here
for a hit here,
Josh
fastball.
Prince. A new Logan back in the San An.
Is he the only one?
He has done best over the last year or so. In 4 at-bats, the first 4 at-bats, he took 20 pitches in those first 4 at-bats, and he walks here to lead off the game. So he is stealing a few more bases, and that is when Josh is at his best. In fact, he's well, Travis Scott would like to crack anything right now. He is in a bit of a slump after just being really fire for close to a week or so. He got to get out of Somerset, number 16, as an 0-16 slide. But good news for him at 16 even, which is the thing here. Travis Scott performs 21 for 36 This one's swung on.
Elbow.
That's another Raising Cane's in Sugarland. You have a certain number of those you have to run each game.
4 or 5.
That's weird.
Barfield hitless last night, but had a big home run in game 2 of that doubleheader. The Skeeters had a 16-inning scoreless drought in the first inning. Barfield took care of that with a 2-run homer. Barfield comes in 282, tied for the league lead in home runs with 7. Also has 15 RBIs. He is tied for second in extra base hits with 13. Second in runs, tied with 19. This one is chopped foul just to the left of home. 1 ball and 1 strike to count, and he is also tied for second in total bases with 58. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. No score here. Bottom of the first between the Skeeters and the Revolution. Williamson from the stretch looks at Prince at first, who's extending his lead, but he comes home and this one is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Of course, York is very close, about 45 minutes away from Hershey Park, and the York Peppermint Patty coming from, of course, York, Pennsylvania, where the Revolution play.
Still should be their nickname, I'm sorry.
The York Peppermint Patties?
That's right. Great cross promotion.
The Peanuts people are going to sue you badly, Gregory.
That's true.
3 balls and 1 strike. I don't mean the peanuts in the chocolate.
I know
mean
you're thinking Peppermint Patty, but but she's not York Peppermint Patty. She's just Peppermint Patty.
She's still dating Linus, by the way.
I think they still are.
Oh, they're still going out, huh? This one is low and in. Oh, wow, called a strike. Yikes. I run the count full 3-2.
I'm mildly surprised that Prince hasn't tried to draw a throw, at least to get a look at the move that Williamson has. And because Prince is a base stealer.
I think he's going to go here. 3-2, 1 out. And
there he got a throw. That's the first one he's got a chance to see.
Well, Logan has a decent move. 2015, while Williamson was with York, Dine in 12, a 4.20 ERA in 27 appearances, 26 starts. The 3-2 swung and fouled off to the right side. Prince was not moving. Kind of surprised he was not going. And Williamson is, I'm sorry, Greg?
His delivery is very quick. He's really getting it from start of motion to the plate very, very rapidly. So I think Prince can recognize that even without a stopwatch down there.
Williamson with a lot of independent ball experience. The 3-2 hit to Barfield, swung and chop foul. He has been in the Atlantic League before. He was with York also in 2014, but before that he was with Southern Maryland. Was 5-3 with a 3.66 ERA in 2013. Mentioned his time in San Angelo with the United League and the North American League. He's been in the American Association. Again, the payoffs to Barfield, and Prince is going to draw a throw over there. We'll do the 3-2 again here. Get it bat here by Barfield. Let's see if he can pay dividends here. Again, the 3-2 inside ball 4. Another walk here for Williamson. Second walk of the inning, first and second with 1 away. That'll bring in Kevin Aarons.
This is no surprise because Williamson has one of the strange stat lines. In his 4 games, he's thrown 18 innings. He's walked 10 and only struck out 7. So the fact that he is having a control problem is not something that Mark Mason hasn't seen this year.
And when you look at his first 3 appearances, they were excellent. He allowed just 4 runs in 12 1/3, but that last start, 5 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs. So more runs in his last appearance than the other 3 combined. First pitch here to Aarons, the Houston product, a strike on the outside corner. Went 1 for 4 in his Skeeters debut on the road. Joined the Skeeters in game 2 of that doubleheader. So he has 2 games under his belt after playing yesterday as well with Sugar Land. I think he's going to be a great addition. Not only is he a very good hitter, in fact, he comes in at .299 with 3 home runs and 17 RBIs. Also 4th in the league in slugging percentage at .558. Tied for second in the league in doubles with 9 and extra base hits. He's also tied for second with 13, but he is a terrific defensive shortstop. In fact, so good that Zawadzki, who is a phenomenal shortstop, has been moved over to third. Now you look at that infield, really, you can make an argument they have 3 shortstops out there, and now here comes manager for the York Revolution. That's Mark Mason. Mason was the pitching coach for the Revolution for a number of years and then took the helm over when Eddie Etchebarren left. And he has been the manager of the Revolution for 5 seasons now. And he, of course, a pitching coach, so he's going to try to straighten out Williamson here a little bit. What do you say to him right now?
The conversation was about. I mean, he gave a few words to him and emotion. It's almost like he wanted to ask to see if he was okay. And then he goes over, Mason goes over and says something to Gary Gaetti in the coach's box. So it almost looks as though that was why he was out there.
Good observation. 22 pitches for Williamson, 9 for strikes, 13 for balls. And a big jam here in the first and second with only 1 away, scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Well, Aaron steps back in. Let's see what he can do here. Aaron waggles the bat. Kind of leans back and forth between the front and back foot. Takes this one low and in, 3-1. And Williamson in danger of walking the bases loaded here.
I'll tell you, I was here last week when Aarons was playing for Lancaster. And since last week, trading him for a player to be named later, they've lost another player.
So one swung, chop towards short slowly. They'll only be able to get 1. They go to second for 1. That's it. Fielder's choice will go down 5-4. So runners on the corners now. It'll be Prince at third Aaron's on it first, so an extra base hit could score both of them. Moorfield erased on the base pass. Good slide. The Skeeters out of that double play. I think Lance Zawatsky is on the verge of really breaking through. 217, 3 home runs, and 10 RBIs for Zawatsky, but starting to come out of it. He is 4 for his last 13. That is a 308 average with a home run and 3 RBIs on the 4-game road trip. In steps the left-hander hitting third baseman. First pitch down the middle for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to count. No score here in the bottom of the first. Skeeters trying to change that with 2 on and 2 out. Williamson already 25 pitches here in the first. The 0-1. This one high and tight. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. He's going to burn through a third of his arsenal here in the first. Pitching for the Revolution overall has been good. They're second in the league, 3.45 for an ERA, and that's impressive in York, which really is probably the most friendly hitters park in the Atlantic League. I mean, that in Lancaster, a very close 1-2. This one misses low and away. 2 balls and a strike here. Skeeters, however, really doing better overall. And as far as hitting, they're hitting 265, third in the league. York is 7th out of the 8 teams at 248. Skeeters have also moved up in ERA. They are currently 5th at 439. This one high, 3-1. Fielding's where the men separate from the boys. Skeeters are now first in the league in fielding percentage, 986. They have committed the least amount of errors with 15. York is 7th of the 8 teams, 973, 25 errors, and as Greg mentioned in the pregame show, 25 earned runs off of those errors. This one is a strike on the outside corner. Zawatsky thought he had ball 4. Took a step and a half towards first. So that does actually work out to the Skeeters' advantage, however. Aarons will be taking off here from first with a 3-2 count and 2 down. Let's see if Zawatsky can get a good pitch here. He is going to have to hit it a country mile to get it out of here today in right field. Payoff pitch here to Zawatsky. This one swung and hit up the middle, but right to the shortstop. And he will be thrown out. 6-3 on the putout, and that will do it. Skeeters threaten no runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on base through 1 inning of play. No score between the Skeeters and the Revolution.
That's what I want.
Are we ready? Get set, go! And they are off. Let's get to the next one. Who's going to come first? It looks like it's almost a tie. They're playing your teammate. 5 times around, nice and fast. It's super easy. All right, go right back all the way this way. Remember, Haley, you got to get there. Who's going to be? It's a race. Let's go. Oh, and it might be too close to call. Congratulations, back up teammate.
Thanks a lot, Jessica. And that was the family relay sponsored by the Just Kids. And the Just Kids, you won't have to leave anyone at home. The Just Kids makes fun available for the whole family. Pricing by the minute, by the hour. Take your kids of all ages to the Just Kids and learn more on justkids.com. Now leading on for York, shortstop number 34.
Nothing like a little Bon Jovi. We did just come from New Jersey, home of Bon Jovi, but we're back here in Sugar Land, and it's sweet to be home. Leading off here is 5, 6, and 7. It'll be Carlos Trienfeld, Brian Pounds, the U of H product, and Travis Witherspoon. Against Skeeters right-hander Bobby Blevins. First pitch is a strike here on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Trienfeld 222, no home runs and 2 RBIs. Bats from the right side, open stance. That front foot sits on his toes, and jam shot here. Blevins points it out without even turning around. He knows it's an out. Benson in left has it to his left, and And there is out number 1. That's confidence in your fielders.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Pounds will step in. Pounds was drafted by the Tigers in the 34th round in 2008, right out of the University of Houston here. Got as high as AAA Toledo in 2011 and 2012, and he was also a teammate of former Skeeters catcher Chris Wallace while he was at U of H. Pounds a very good hitter. Very wide open stance, pretty straight up from the right side. He has got, as they say, guns for arms. Can really hit a ball pretty hard with those cannons of his. The 0-1. This one swung and fouled straight back. No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Pounds. Ryan also played in Camden, maybe his best season. 2014, 283, 16 home runs, 70 RBIs in 131 games. The 0-2. This one is a little low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But really what got him drafted was his senior year at U of H. 354, 10 home runs, 67 RBIs. And keep in mind, that's only in 64 games. Blevins looks in for the sign. He will wheel and fire the 1-2. This one low and away. That'll square the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score here in the top of the second. 1 out, none on here for the Revolution. They set up outside. The 2-2 swung and fouled off to the right side. Because York's history goes way back, 1800s. The Revolution name because Battle of Gettysburg kind of began there in York. Not successfully, I might add, but it did begin there. They basically surrendered and the South Army kind of just rolled through York. That's where it all began now. The 2-2. This one swollen and fouled off to the right side. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I guess I couldn't call them the York Civil Wars because the Revolution was, as you know, really before that when, as most of the team, many of the teams in New England have a tie-in with their names tied into the Revolution, and York uses it, but they try to tie it in with a civil war. It was an insurrection. I guess you can call them the insurrections.
No, that might not be politically correct there, Greg. The 2-2. This one swollen and fouled off to the right side.
Well, I contend neither is a revolution for talking about the Civil War.
Yeah, but you're for peppermint patties.
I am. Let's get this
You
war
could
stuff out.
you could have a little montage video before the season to get ready for the season with snow on the mountain. I just bit into a York peppermint patty and I feel like I'm on the top of a mountain. Or in this case, a mound.
Well, you actually know the commercials a little better than I do, I'm afraid.
All that marketing pays off.
Yeah.
Well, either that or way too much TV. We're not all the literary masters that you are. I mean, you've got 2 books written and read a ton.
Yeah, I bought a new book today, actually.
All I am is wit, sarcasm, and cartoons. This one is swung and fouled into the screen. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we didn't get a chance to talk too much about your book. And since we do have a U of H product here, I think it's a pretty good tie-in.
Houston to Cooperstown, the Houston Astros Biggio and Bagwell years, as you have it displayed right here in the booth. It is in Barnes & Nobles, all over town, all over a lot of the country, actually.
This one swung and a miss, so the former Cougar down here as the first K of the day, and there is 2 away. And there's been stuff written on Biggio and Bagwell. What's kind of some of the unique parts of your book?
Well, not really a book written about them. That's the whole point. Publisher noted that, and I said, okay. Now it does go a little before them and a little bit after them because I tied it into based it around the years when they were with the team, but also a little bit of the franchise's background as well. And I got to talk to some interesting people.
Who are some of the interesting notables?
Well, the agent for both of them, Barry Axelrod, he had some great stories about keeping them together in the same city and how proud of that he is. Because that doesn't happen much, not anymore.
Nope. There's only a handful of guys. I mean,
well, you know, every team that's good in baseball now has that worry that in 3 or 4 years they're going to have to break it up because some guy's going to get too expensive.
I mean, you have to worry.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 that come into mind in the last 30 years are really Trammell and Lou Whitaker, and Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera. I mean, after that, you got to kind of really search.
Two, and those two, the latter two you mentioned, the first two maybe should have been in the Hall of Fame. The latter two will be. But you're right, it's very difficult.
2-1. I mean, even the guys you can count on one hand and have fingers left over, just one guy who's played his whole career. I mean, George Brett and Cal Ripken, there's not many of them anymore. The 3-1. So on ripped down the third base line past the diving Zawatsky. Benson gets to it quickly, and he may hold him to a long single and does. Great play by Benson.
Now that's defense. It's not just not making errors, it's also making plays, and he made the play.
What do you call your anti-plenoma? Plays made.
I don't know. I got to come up with one of those. I don't have one of those, but that's true. That was a play made.
And you're always very creative. And I remember, what was the one that the sabermetric stat that you kind of invented last year that was really interesting? You could actually see maybe add a stat here to the plays not made, the plenomas, to plays made that takes maybe give you, take outs away or take extra bases away. They always talk about, good defenses give you 25 outs, even though everyone knows you still need 27 outs. But
Are you true?
Just want to strike on the inside corner. 0-1 to the switch hitting Derek Robinson, batting here from the left side.
I had some thoughts on how you refine the save situation, because not all saves are created equal, but they are given under very basic circumstances.
Well, you bring up a good point, because a lot of times the save can be in the eighth, and that's why having a good setup man is important. So what's your idea for the save?
Well, the other one has to do with if you come in with nobody on base and nobody out, that's a lot easier save than coming in with runners on.
But that's very rarely done, as this one is nubbed down the first base line. Generally, you come in to start the ninth inning with nobody on.
That's what it's evolved into, yes.
So what stat would you invent to kind of show the difference in saves?
It would give value to the guys who do come in when there are runners on base. If the guy comes in and the guy's at third base and the guy scores, well, that's not going to count that much against him, as opposed if he comes in with a runner at first base and 2 outs.
But by your stat, does he still get a save?
He'd still get a save if under the rule, but there might be a point value put to it.
I like that. Maybe an extra category for the Rolaids Relief Award. Wins, losses you lose, saves you get a point. Maybe this one you get an additional point.
Yeah, the problem is in baseball, most of our rules and most of our records have been set in stone for so many years.
I know.
We tend to not want to change them. And that's the big problem we have with a lot of the so-called modern stats. They're never going to really fit. They're interesting, but they're not really ever going to replace the other stats, because we've just had too much of a history with them. People will say batting average isn't as important as other stats. Well, yeah, it is. It is.
The 1-2 here by Blevins. He holds and fires home, and this one foul back out of play. So 2 questions. You have inherited runners. That is a stat, even though it's not publicized as much as it should, because I agree with you. I think the save is the one stat. You can get a guy a save. You can put him in a position to get a save. You can't get a guy a hit. You can't get a guy a home run or even a win for that matter. But you can get a guy a save. I mean, he comes in with a 3-run lead and he needs 3 outs. I mean, he's probably going to get it. It's not you can't be in the position to do it. This one just missed a little low. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Well,
the other thing, do you think there's a way to figure out that if Raleigh Fingers and Suter and Gossage only pitched 1 inning, what that would equate to as far as saves?
It would be interesting, because obviously they were at the transition.
There goes the runner, the throw down to second, a 1-hopper to second base, and getting in there easily is Witherspoon. So Witherspoon swipes second, runner down at second with 2 down now. It was a strike, so 2 balls and 2 strikes to count for Witherspoon on the season. That was stolen base number 4. He's also been caught 4 times. Not a good stolen base ratio.
I think that gives him a team lead. I think Robinson, who's up now, has
correct.
3.
Yep. Payoff pitch here to Robinson by Blevins. Swung on and foul tipped into the mitt of Rodriguez. Strike 3. Second K of the inning. Second K of the day. And there is 3 away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. Middle of the second. Still scoreless here between York and Sugarland. Well, we move to the bottom of the second inning in a scoreless contest between the Skeeters and the Revolution, who are going head-to-head for the first time this season in a 4-game series. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Skeeters' Derek Miller, Wilfredo Rodriguez, Joe Benson. I got to really tip my cap to Derek Miller, who in that 7-inning contest, Skeeters were 5 outs away from being no-hit in a 7-inning game, and he got a big hit to break that up. Have you ever called the other end of a no-hitter?
You mean when it ended?
No, when
prematurely?
No, when your team is the losing team in the no-hitter.
Not called one. I've been part of one. The Matt Cain threw one against the Astros.
Oh, Dolan was part of that one too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was part of that one. Also, the another one there, the Zambrano pitched one against the Astros in one of those makeup games that played in Milwaukee against the Cubs in 2008.
Yeah, one here to Miller.
And Dolan would have been there for that one too.
1 ball and 1 strike the count. I was part of calling a 7-inning no-hitter for the team that won at AAA Colorado Springs. That was fun. I was 1 out away here from calling a no-hitter a couple of years ago, and Kyle Hankert wrecked that with a 3-run homer, and the Skeeters actually lost.
Well, my biggest memory, of course, was calling a perfect game. Kenny Rogers, all 9 innings of that one for the Rangers back in '94.
The 2-1 high, 3 balls and a strike here.
And being part of the broadcast crew for the famous 6-pitcher no-hitter against the New York. Which one was that? New York who?
Stop it.
In 2003.
It's one down low, ball 4, and another walk here for Derek Miller, who continues to get on base.
I really like him. He's a solid all-around player, and it's just a good thing that Jay Miller is the president of this club. Easy recruit.
And now he's got the greatest host family ever.
Yeah.
And Jay lives right here near the ballpark, so not far for him to go as well. So 1 on out now. See if Derek Miller would try to swipe it back here. He's got plenty of speed. In fact, he scored on a double on the road. Not too many people would have scored on that. That was a big run for the Skeeters. This one's a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Nice to see Wilfredo Rodriguez. And really interesting, the Skeeters didn't start the year with either of the catchers they had during last year's championship series, and now they got them both back in Wilfredo Rodriguez and Albert Cordero. So on hit up the middle, this could be 2. Dent will shovel it to the shortstop. Trienfeld and throw to first to Burgess is indeed a double play for 6-3. So just like that, after a leadoff walk, now 2 outs, none on for Joe Benson.
Williamson is showing his tendency, and that's to walk a lot of people, but the Skeeters have not yet gotten a hit yet, let alone a big one.
Keep thinking Joe Benson is very close. I mean, I've seen him enough to know that he is a much better hitter than his average shows. He was 4 for 11, hitting a 363 mark in 3 games. But then he went into a slump on the 4-game road trip, went just 1 for 13 and 076 mark, and maybe being home will help him. The 1-0. This one hit high in the air to right center field. Witherspoon in deep right center will bring it down for the final out. So an unconventional 1-2-3 with a walk, double play, and fly out. We are through 2, and we are still scoreless.
USA Championship Tournament is going to take place May 24th and 28th.
We move to the top of the third in a scoreless game between your Sugar Land Skeeters and the Revolution. It'll be the number 9 hitter for the Revs here to start off the third. Jared Mitchell, then back to the top with Jose Constanza and Ryan Dent. Then steps the left-hand hitting right fielder Mitchell, 133 with a home run and 7 RBIs. First pitch here, a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike to count. Mitchell bats from the left side, open stance. Rests his bat on his shoulder, and this one way high and outside. Rodriguez had a lunge for that to his left to keep it from going into the backstop, but nobody on, no need to worry. Mitchell talking about slumps. He is 0 for his last 23. That is what you would call a prolonged slump. The 1-1. This one is in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike to count. Drafted twice, once by the Twins in the 10th round in 2006 out of high school, and then a first-round pick. Another one here in this game, 23rd overall by the White Sox in 2009 at LSU, where he won the College World Series with LSU in 2009 and was named the most outstanding player. The 2-1. So on a hit to the right side, right at Josh Prince. He gobbles it up, throws it to first. There's 1 down, 4-3 on the putout.
See, he's just in a funk. That ball, for instance, was got him on the hands a little bit. Couldn't get the bat around to really make solid contact. And that's what's happening when you're in a slump. Your timing is just this much off.
That much is so much sometimes. Now 0 for 24. Back to the top of the order with Jose Constanza. And I got so many Seinfeld jokes lined up for him, boy. 6 for 19. Last 4 games, hitting .316, undrafted out of the Dominican Republic. Signed with the Indians in 2003.
Wanted to be a marine biologist or an architect when he was growing up.
There you go. You beat me to it, Lucas. This one outside, but he's not a short, stocky, bald man, so
No,
I guess
not.
he's halfway there.
He spells his name slightly differently, but he's close.
Can't Constanza. The 1-1. This one a strike on the outside corner. Blevins really accurate here tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. No score here in the top of the third. Blevins kicks and fires the 1-2, and this one is swung and fouled just behind home plate. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. A little bit of big league time at 273, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs, 12 steals, and 112 career big league games, and over 1,000 minor league games, 297 home runs, and 328 RBIs, and 307 career stolen bases. Like Josh Prince is ready to turn over that odometer to 300 steals, getting closer. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here. His best season in 2010 with Cleveland, 319 he hit as he fouls this one off to the left side. A home run, 32 RBIs, 34 steals, was an International League All-Star that season. Last year with Mexico, he's not hit a home run since 2012. That's quite a home run drought. The 2-2. Swan and a bullet to the left side, past the diving shortstop Kevin Aarons and into left field for a base hit. As the 3rd hit of the night. So 1 on and 1 out now here for Ryan Dent. 265, no home runs and 2 RBIs. Scoreless here in the top of the third. Skeeters and the Revs will play this game. Then remember, program reminding tomorrow, a day-night doubleheader. 12 noon for the first game, 7 o'clock the regular scheduled time for game 2, and then the conclusion of the series on Sunday. Then they will see the Patriots again, who they just saw. They will play another day-nighter, a 3-game series in 2 days. Then back out on the road for the longest road trip of the season. It is a lengthy one. York, Long Island, Somerset, and Lancaster. This one swung and fouled off to the right side. No balls and 1 strike to count here.
That takes care of half the league. Wow.
What about the other half?
It'll be on the next long road trip.
And that next long one is right before the All-Star break. Skeeters go to York, Southern Maryland, and Somerset right before the break. Blevins, perfect 2-to-1 strike-to-ball ratio, 24 strikes, 12 balls. 36 total pitches. This one swung and fouled off. 0-2 the count here. 6:05 in game 2, excuse me.
First game is what, 7 innings?
7 innings, correct. At noon, 7 innings, and then the second game at 6:05 will be 9.
That will be a snappy first action.
They go quick. You got to treat the 5th inning as if it's the 7th, and get your setup man in the 6th and your closer in the 7th. So if you get 5 good innings out of your starter, you're in good shape. This one swung and hit out to right center field. Long run for Barfield. Will he be able to catch up to this? Yes, and he'll fire it to first. He's actually going to make this close. There's a second out. Nice play by Barfield. Didn't think he had a chance to get the runner going back to first.
You know, he's really a good defensive outfielder, and playing right field here is tough because of the wind. The wind tends to blow in, but every so often it'll change its mind.
Then steps Isaiah Tejada. Now reached base in 15 games straight, and we'll try to make it 16 here. Let's see if Blevins can stop him. During that span, he had a 7-game hitting streak at one point. Hit home runs in 3 straight ball games as well during this streak of his. Throw to first. Good throw. All the Skeeters pitchers are all right-handed. They're starters, but they all have pretty good moves. Maybe the tallest one has the best one. That's Skeeters 6'7" right-hander Jake Hale. Blevins peeking over his shoulder at Constanza. There's one, a fastball strike right down the middle. No balls and 1 strike to count. What do you do with a team that is not good in their success rate as an entire team in stolen bases? I mean, we talked about it, 18 steals, 14 caught stealings. They should never be going if I'm the manager. This one way inside, 1-1. Do you keep going and hoping it eventually evens out, or maybe just put up some more stop signs?
I think you have to go with track record. If guys have been able to steal, and they haven't really slowed down, but right now, really, Witherspoon and Robinson are the only 2 that are running, and they really don't have good percentages.
Constanza has stolen 2 of 3. It's a huge lead at first. Blevins comes home. This one low and away, 2-1. No score here in the top of the 3rd between the York Revolution and your Sugarland Skeeters. Wind continues to blow hard. Now blowing in a little further from left center. This one hit out to right center. Derek Miller on his horse has a beat on it, lunges for it and can't come up with it. That one up against the right center field wall. Constanza will score easily, and it is 1-0 York. Oh, Miller was flying out there. I thought he was going to track that one down.
Yeah, the problem was it kept getting further and further away from him because the wind was crossing from left field toward right field, and probably just as soon as he thought he's getting there, he looks up and it's still going. He got close. That ball was hit extremely well by Tejada, as well as a .338 hitter should be able to.
Tejada his 6th double of the year. So the Revolution strike first here as the cleanup hitter and left-hand hitting first baseman steps in, Michael Burgess. He flew it to left his first time up. He is 0 for 1. First pitch by the Skeeters right-hander. This one swung and chopped off the foot of Burgess. No balls and 1 strike to count. Burgess will try to walk it off a little bit here. Burgess has hit in 4 straight. Last year for the Revs, 275, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, and that was just in 43 games. The 0-1, this one in the dirt. Good stop by Rodriguez. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. One run on 4 hits for the Revolution. No runs on no hits for the Skeeters. Skeeters came from Somerset, New Jersey. The Revolution came from Long Island, New York. The 1-1. Low and away, 2 balls and a strike. Last year he split time between the Mexican League and the Revolution. Still only 51 games last season. Just 8 games in the Mexican League, and I mentioned the 43 with the Revolution. Spent time in the Nationals, the Cubs, the Astros, and the Orioles system. Greg mentioned early, 2013 he was with Corpus Christi. He had 203 with 12 home runs and 42 RBIs. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 in and 1 on. York leading here in the top of the third, 1-0 over the Skeeters. There's one way inside. That'll run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here. Burgess' career numbers, a career .250 hitter, 130 home runs, 507 RBIs. Career 19 in Potomac in 2009 in the Carolina League at Advanced A. Swung on, skied into left field. Benson to his right, our left, in front of the manual scoreboard. We'll squeeze it for the final out. But York strikes first as the Revolution has begun. They get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Middle of the third, it is the Revolution 1 and the Skeeters nothing. Welcome back to Constellation Field. We move to the bottom of the third. Skeeters will try to get the run back they gave up. York leading 1-0. Before we get to the action, we're going to pause 10 seconds for a station identification.
And leading on for the Skeeters, designated hitter number 23, Derek Piles.
So here in the bottom of the third with the Skeeters trailing 1-0, Derek Piles will lead it off for the Skeeters. 9-1-2 for Sugarland. Derek Piles, then back to the top of the order with Josh Prince and Travis Scott. There's one, a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count to Piles. Derek comes in 238, no home runs and 1 RBI. 7 games this season, 5 for 21. It's 1 high and outside. 2 balls and a strike here on Piles. This one is a bullet into the net and then down the third base line as it caroms into left field. Piles, a career .294 hitter, 16 home runs, 170 RBIs, and 21 steals in 342 games. Let's see if we can get on hold of another one here. Look at the pitch count here on Williamson. He threw a ton of pitches in that first, but now he has a 1-0 lead. The 1-0 by Logan. This one is a little bit inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Skeeters still looking for their first hit. The 2-2. Swung and slowly hit to second. Dent is there. He'll fling it sidearm to first, and there's out number 1. 4-3 on the putout.
Sort of nonchalant at that one.
Yeah, he did. Back to the top of the order, Josh Prince, who Doing what he does best, taking a lot of pitches, walking, getting hits, stealing bases. He's had some power to his game, but I don't think you can kind of forget what got you there. 263 coming in, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. Walked in his first trip to the plate here tonight. Fastball for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count here to Prince.
Yeah, if he's going to work the count on anybody, I would think it would be Williamson, since he's got a history of wildness.
The 0-1. And squares the bunt here. Takes it low and in near the feet. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. 1-0 York here in the bottom of the third. Williamson now 45 pitches, 21 for strikes, but 24 for balls. But he is in the lead. The 1-1. This one high and outside, looked like a curveball that he couldn't quite snap off. 2 balls and a strike. Prince took 6 pitches to get the walk in his first trip to the plate. Will receive pitch number 4 here, and this one is outside, 3-1. Now, if he gets anything near the plate, I think he's going to put a charge into this baseball here. A 3-1 by the southpaw. This one a strike. Wow, looked to be a little high and outside. Prince thought so as well. Was heading towards first. Will have to come back. So that'll run the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch to Prince. This one high and outside, ball 4. That is already the 4th walk of the game for Williamson. But it puts the speedy Prince at first with 1 away for Travis Scott, who's going to try to break an 0-for-17 slide here. Scott came in 274, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. Let's see if Scott can keep it going here. Lefty-lefty matchup here for Williamson. Now Scott steps out. Williamson looks at first at Prince, but comes home. This one ripped down the first base side. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Scott. 1-0 the Revolution in front here. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Williamson double take to first, comes home, and this one is nub foul back into the left of home. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Just a few days ago, Travis Scott was hitting .329. That 0-for-17 now down to 274.
Well, the 2 big boppers, Scott and Barfield, have both been slumping, and that has hurt a great deal.
But, eventually both will come out of it. Barfield, of course, the Atlantic League Player of the Year last year. Jan Santi will be back. It's one high 1-2, so I think the hitting woes are close to being over. Travis, a 3-time Atlantic League All-Star, including All-Star MVP in 2015, and puts a charge into this one. Will the wind blow it into the stands? Yes. When you're 0-for-17, you hope it goes into the stands. 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Travis. Maybe that break will allow him to break this slide right here. Travis way too good of a hitter to be in an 0-for-17 slide. I guess it could always be worse. And look on the other side of the ledger. Mitchell now 0-for-24. The Revolution. This one swung and foul straight back. Good cut there by Travis. Still 1-2 on number 1-6. Greg, who's your favorite player growing up?
As a youngster, first guy was Ted Kluszewski.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Big clue, right?
Big clue.
Yeah. The 1-2. Swan and hit to right center field. He breaks up the 0-for-17 slide with a base hit. Prince will round second, hit the third, and now they're going to wave him home. Here comes the throw. Here comes Prince. He's going to get in there. It's wide of home, and the Skeeters have tied it at 1 as Travis Scott breaks his 0-for-17 slide with an RBI double.
That ball was really hit hard, and fortunately it was hit on the line ball hit hard in the air is not necessarily going to be that productive. And with only one out, Prince was really going.
So 5th double of the year for Scott, RBI number 12. Let's see if Barfield can continue this and give the Skeeters their first lead of the game. It's only one away, and Scott down at second. Barfield walked also his first time up. Came in 282, 7 home runs, 15 RBIs. And with the wind blowing so hard in from left center, that means it blows out to left very well. So let's see if Barfield can put a charge into one here at Constellation Field. It was the other way with it. No balls and 1 strike to count to Barfield. Jeremy, as I mentioned, his first at bat, just 7 for his last 43, a 162 mark over his last 11 ball games. Previous 12 games, he was 17 for 49, hitting .347. This one is low, 1 ball and 1 strike to count here on Barfield. Barfield last year, on top of being the home run champ and the Atlantic League Player of the Year, he was voted to the All-Star game and the end of season All-Star team. Lefty Williamson looks at second and fires it home. This one low and in, gets away from the catcher Tejeda, and that'll put Travis Scott down at third with 1 away. So now all Barfield needs is a sac fly to give the Skeeters their first lead of the game. That will be a wild pitch. See if they bring the infield in here. It's tough to bring the infield in against Barfield. I mean, almost asking them to get ahead. Are they going to play halfway here, perhaps?
Looks like it.
Yep.
Even that's a bit of a gamble. This game is so early. It's only the 3rd inning.
The 2-1 here from the lefty Williamson. The 2-1 swung and missed. Big rip by Barfield. He was going for more than a sac fly there, 2-2. Are you for or against midway? I mean, some people don't like it at all. And they say if you're going to do it, either play him back or play him all the way in, or do you like it?
Well, midway is good enough to go to the plate if the ball is hit straight at him. I think the circumstance, I'm not big on it here, not this early in the game.
So one inside, 3-2 on Barfield. Now, if you're Williamson, Greg, do you give Barfield anything to hit? I mean, you could walk him.
Yeah,
Kevin Aarons is on deck.
There's 1 out, you get a double play situation. No, you don't give him anything good to hit.
Payoff pitch here to Barfield. Low ball 4, and you called it right, and that is the 5th walk of the game here for Williamson. Second of the inning. That's the second time he's walked 2 in an inning. No action in the Revolution bullpen, so Southpaw will be his game for a while. And Tejeda, the catcher, steps in front of home to flash a few signs in case Barfield should take off. In steps Kevin Aarons. Aarons grounded into a fielder's choice. His first time up, he's 0 for 1. Williamson looks at first. First pitch is a fastball that misses a little bit high and outside. Good eye by Aarons. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Aarons a Houston native, and Brian Pounds went to the University of Houston. Still lives here in the Houston area. This one is swung and fouled into the net. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Aaron's a former first-round pick, as I mentioned. It's a Memorial High School here in the Houston area. This one, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
Really giving him a lot of off speed the last 2 pitches. And he's been way ahead of him.
Take a look at the pitch count here on Williamson. 30 for strikes, 34 for balls. This will be pitch 65, and this one hit in right. This will be plenty deep enough to score Scott. The right fielder Mitchell will bring it down. He'll throw it into second. Scott touches home, and the Skeeters take a 2-1 lead, their first of the game. So for Aarons, his 18th RBI of the season. Gets the job done.
Yeah, there's a case of what they say is situational hitting. The point was he wanted to get that runner in from third base with less than 2 outs. He got a pitch up, and he could hit it in the air, and he was actually looking at pitches on the outside part of the plate because that's where Williamson had got him swinging and missing in the last couple of pitches.
It's always defeating when you just got a lead and you give it right back. This one is hit to the right side. Nice play to Dent's left. They'll throw it to first, and that'll do it. But not before the Skeeters come back and take their first lead of the game. They get 2 runs on just 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. A third of the way through, it is the Skeeters now in front of the Revolution, 2-1.
With the Burgerville. My good friend Jessica is down on the first base side with tonight's contestants and all the details. All right, my friend, take it away.
You ready? You ready to jump in? Andy's going to work with you for these next 3.
Gotcha.
Well, we move to the top of the 4th inning, and to take you through the next few, G-Lou, Greg Lucas will take you through. It's all yours, Greg.
Thank you. Andy Humphrey's going to jump in here as well as we get set for the top of the 4th. It'll be Triumphal, Pounds, and Witherspoon for the York Revolution. Skeeters now lead it by a count of 2-1, and the first pitch is upstairs for a ball. Triumphal's only been with this club about 3 days. He was a minor leaguer first in the Seattle system, and then the Dodgers, and then finally Cincinnati last year, a little bit of last year, and played in Louisville and actually had a good year. There's a pitch that's inside for a ball. Playing for Louisville in AAA, he was in 105 games, hit .278, 4 homers, 40 runs batted in, but found himself without a job during the offseason and is now here with this club. There's a fastball that's up and in, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. To the shortstop, 5'11", 205-pounder from Santiago, Dominican Republic. Only 27 years old, so you'd think that he might at least feel that he's got another shot coming him down the road based on those numbers he put up, particularly last year. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. Bobby Blevins, the right-hander, has given up just 1 run, 4 hits. He has not walked anyone, unlike his counterpart. A couple of strikeouts. 3-1 pitch is strike 2 called as we go full. Blevins was originally with the Dodgers system. Lemoyne College, same college that produced 2 left-handed pitchers of note, Tom Browning and Jim DeShays. And he was pretty good in college, this young man, 32 and 13, and there's a pitch that's wide for ball 4. So after 3-0, getting it down to 3-2, but still losing his first hitter with a free pass. Now Brian Pounds, a third baseman who struck out his first time. Triumphal has not attempted to steal a base. As we said last year in AAA, he didn't steal much either. He was only 1 out of 2 in 105 games, so he was not added to this team for his speed. Pounds looks at the first pitch, breaking ball. It catches the outside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitter. Came into the game at .215 with 3 homers and 13 runs batted in. Takes a stance in the right-handed batter's box that's quite wide, and then he brings the left foot forward as the pitcher gets ready to deliver the ball. Working out of the stretch, here it comes. Swung on and fouled back to the screen, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Blevins, the Skeeters pitcher, was in this league with Long Island. He's been with Long Island, in fact, 2012, 13, 14, 15, and last year. Didn't have a very good year with the Ducks last year, just 2-12 with a 5.51 earned run average in 22 starts. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Off-speed pitch, lined into left field, past the dive of Zawadzki. Going into second base and holding is Triumphal, and the Revolution has the first 2 runners on base here in the 4th. That ball was hit on the nose.
It really was, and Zawadzki had a chance at it. I half thought that he was going to come up with that catch as he sprawled out to his left-hand side. But again, a really nice hit ball by Brian Pounds, who is trying to get out of a little bit of a slump.
That'll bring up Witherspoon. Witherspoon, wears uniform number 1, batting right-handed. Just a slightly open stance. Skeeters are in on the corners, and they're in double play position up the middle. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, lined into center field for a base hit. Rounding third is Triumphal. He will come to the plate. The throw will be cut off on the mound, and it is a tie game just like that, as Witherspoon on the first pitch gets his second hit of the game, and it's 2-2. Pounds holds it second.
Witherspoon also trying to get out of a bit of a rough patch, and that time he drove another one right up the middle. Miller had a little bit of trouble, I think, maybe getting it out of his glove, because he was ready and trying to load his arm for a throw to home, but it just didn't get there in time.
Now the first left-handed hitter in the inning will be Derek Robinson. He's a switch hitter, batting left-handed, 5'11", 190-pounder, 29-year-old from Gainesville, Florida. He struck out in the second inning to end the inning. Skeeters again playing for double play with runners at first and second, 1 run in this 2-2 score, and he's going to sacrifice. Coming off the mound and making the play nowhere is the pitcher, as Blevins looked to third, and by the time he turned and looked to first, he didn't figure on how fast Robinson was running, so he's going to get a base hit to load the bases.
Well, you got to have a mental clock in your head if you're going to make that play. You got to realize how much time you have left to get the runner at first base. You can't look over at third and hesitate. Once you do, you're going to have everybody safe.
And on top of that, that was an excellent bunt. It wasn't hit too hard.
It was.
And it did make the pitcher field it coming well off the mound.
Yeah, really nicely placed and perfectly positioned as well to make sure that Blevins had to go to the third base side.
Bases loaded with nobody out for Jared Mitchell, the number 9 man in the order. He bounced into a 4-3 put out in the third inning. Skeeters will take another one of those if they can get a double play, although they are in on the corners. Ball hit to first or third, the play will come to the plate. Ball hit up the middle, they will try to turn a double play starting at second base. Working out of the stretch is Blevins. Here's his pitch. Swung on, popped up into the infield. The shortstop, Aarons, it's going to be an infield fly, and the batter is automatically out. The catch is made, as he had no problem making the play, and that's out number 1.
That's the last thing you wanted if you were the Revs, and Bobby Blevins with a big sigh of relief. Now he can try and induce a double play here with the top of the order coming up.
Even at this age, there are still people that don't understand the principle behind the infield fly, being the batter called out. Well, the reason is very simple. If a ball is hit in the air, the runners on the bases have to stay near their bags. As you know, they have to tag before they can advance. Consequently, if an infielder would drop a ball with runners at first and second, or first, second, and third, they could easily get a double play.
Or a triple play.
Well, like if they needed a triple play, in this case, yeah. And so, therefore, the rule was put in play many, many years ago that you can't let them use that trickery. First ball is to Constanza. He takes it for a ball. He's 1 for 2. He scored the first run of the game in the third, coming in on Tejeda's double. And he takes a strike, and evening the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Skeeters are again positioned for a double play up the middle. Third baseman and the first baseman are not in as close, but they are in front of the bag just by a step. 1 ball and 1 strike from Blevins, and that just misses the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-1. That was close.
It was close, and I think there have been some pitches a little bit outside of that spot that were called strikes by Jim Tatum earlier in this game.
Constanza came in at 233 before he's 1 for 2, and he takes the next pitch, hits it in the air, left side. It's in the outfield and coming over toward the stands, just not quite catchable to Benson. He couldn't quite get there. Maybe 2 feet before it hit to the stands and bounced up into the stands.
Well, yeah, he wasn't going to have a chance at it. The wind blew it into foul territory and out of play. And, man, Benson was really going full steam. He may have just been able to slow himself up as right before he ran into that wall. I was half expecting him to really collide into that wall hard, but it appears that he is all right.
Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-handed hitting Constanza. Slaps that ball foul back over the screen. He's a 27-year-old out of Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, 5'9", 185 pounds. He played with York last year, or 2 years ago, in 31 games, hit .324, and then last year was with 3 teams in the Mexican League and hit .266. Back with York this year. Major League experience. Slap to the left side, past the dive of Zawadzki. 1 run will score. 2nd run will have to hold at 3rd. The throw behind, and getting back safely is Witherspoon. But the tie is broken on the base hit by Constanza, his 2nd hit of the game. And again, a dive by Zawadzki, but he couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, real close again, and a really nicely hit ball, perfectly placed in between those infielders on the left-hand side by Constanza, who has the 2nd hit of the game and has been pretty productive in the early going for the Revs.
Revs take the lead back 3-2, and Ryan Dent, the number 2 man in the batting order, will step in. He is singled and flied to right. Dent out of Long Beach, California. In the Boston system for 7 years, then the Cubs system. Indy was the first time last year with Sussex County. There's a bouncing ball out to short. That's too short for a double play, but they'll get the lead man at 2nd while a run scores. Aaron's over to Prince. The ball was hit on too many hops. Dent could not be retired at first. He reaches on a fielder's choice, but will get a run batted in, make the score 4-2 in favor of York. And runners now at 3rd base is Robinson, and at 1st base is Dent. And the hitter will be Tejeda, the 8th man in the inning to bat. Tejeda, the catcher, 6 feet, 195 pounds. Probably the last guy you want to see here based on what's been going on this season for York, because Tejeda has been their best hitter, 328 batting average with 5 homers, and his double drove in the first run of the game. There's a hard shot, backhand, could not be handled. The hop came up high on Aaron's. Another run will score. There may be credited as a hit. It was a backhand attempt, and the ball did take a high hop on him. It would have been a tough throw across the diamond. Bottom line is, though, another run scores.
Yeah, tough play. It's very close, and I think that's about a 50-50 call for an official score to make there. And looks
backhanded
like
play.
They gave him a single.
Yeah, I would have given him a single. It was a backhanded play, and it was well hit too. It had been hard to stop, but it's a 4-run inning, and now 9 men have batted, and there's going to be at least a conference at the mound because pitching coach Rafi Montalvo has gone out to at least to make sure that Burgess is okay. What has been tough on this is they've been jumping on his pitches here and have hit some balls fairly hard.
Yeah, he's probably talking to maybe change up the approach to some of these hitters. Maybe if he was going fastball on the first few pitches, maybe he changes up to either one of the breaking balls or change up. But you're right, they've definitely figured him out in this inning. And Montalvo, now his job was to go out there and make sure that he tweaks his game plan a little bit so he can get out of it.
Skeeters do have some activity in the bullpen. While Burgess, the number 4 man in the batting order, steps in. He has flied out to left twice. Left-handed hitter. He's hit the ball the opposite way. Benson has made 2 plays on him. Now he's up with runners at 1st and 2nd, and 2 outs. The first pitch is swung on and missed. Took a little off, looked like, and maybe that was the call. Let's go with that sinker. Get it down a little bit better because the ball has been up where they could reach it. That was a good first pitch. No balls and a strike. Coming out of the stretch, the second pitch is popped up in the air on the infield. Zawadzki can take it, and he will at third base, and that retires the side. Not before damage is done. 4 runs score on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. They were all singles, no errors, 2 men left, and we go to the bottom of the 4th, and the Skeeters are now looking up. They're down 5-2. Greg Lucas here along with Andy Humphreys and Ira Liebman taking a break. Skeeters have took the lead briefly in the bottom of the 3rd, but they saw it disappear in the top of the 4th as York came back with 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 2 left, and so coming from behind is again the modus operandi that the Skeeters have to follow. Miller, Rodriguez, and Benson will be up facing Williamson, who has allowed only 1 hit, but he's walked 5. Belying the old story that you can't give those bases on balls to teams or you lose. Well, not yet. Miller walked. He was one of them, leading off his last at bat in the 2nd innings. He fouls his first pitch back, second pitch back. First one was a ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Derek Miller is a product of Hunter Pence's old school, UT Arlington. There's a swing and a miss. The count goes to 0-2 as he swung over the top of something. Derek was a 23rd draft pick of the Red Sox in 2014 as he steps into that right-handed batter's box. Pretty much even stance with his 2 feet, pretty much parallel as he gets set for the 1-2 pitch. And he golfs it toward the line and left. It is going to be a foul ball. Just outside the foul line.
Not by much.
No. And he's got to come all the way back. He had rounded first base, and he's heading back to the home plate. Skeeters wearing their white trousers and their dark jerseys with the blue and white trim. The York Revolution are wearing gray trousers, of course. They're wearing black, basic black jerseys with gold and white trim.
Yeah, I don't know if these 2 teams coordinated as to what they were going to wear tonight. They're both wearing dark colors.
Good thing we're not on television. That's not good. Or certainly not on black and white television.
Good thing we're not playing basketball.
1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, they don't seem to pay that much attention to that anymore. That used to be an unwritten rule. You had to contrast. But that was back when television was a lot black and white. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's chopped on the ground, foul past Gary Gaetti, and the count holds 1 ball and 2 strikes. And everybody's got to have black or extremely dark navy blue these days as an alternative uniform. Well, you don't show stains if you're a sloppy eater. There's a golf shot. That's going to drop into the glove of left fielder Robinson, who came in. That ball stayed up a little bit longer than it looked like it might when it was first hit, and Miller is retired.
Yeah, a couple of little chip shots. It looked like off the bat. Had a sound off the bat that you don't normally hear. But Miller, that time retired. I thought, yeah, I agree with you, Greg. I don't know how that carried long enough for Robinson to get there.
You never know what the air currents are doing because you really can't judge it strictly by the flags, although flag is going from left to right. It could have got under it, I suppose. First pitch to Wilfredo Rodriguez is a ball. He bounced into a double play his first time up. It's great to have his bat back. He was really a key player for this team in its championship year last year. Hit .288 with 8 homers and 36 RBIs in just 73 games as he takes the next pitch for a ball and the following. 2 balls and a strike to Wilfredo Rodriguez. Quick work by Williamson. He fouls it out of play. So Williamson is not throwing balls because he's overthinking, just missing. That's why he has those 5 walks, but he's a pretty quick worker. 2 balls and a strike. That's in tight. It goes to 3-1. Joe Benson on deck. Derek Piles to follow, bottom 3 in the order. 1 out, 5-2 is the score. There's a chopper out in front of the mound. Coming off quickly is Williamson. He spins and throws it to first, and Rodriguez is the second out. Dazzle them with your change of speed. That's exactly what happened there as he got out in front. Now comes Benson, who flied to center field. His first time up, and he hit pretty well. Benson, born in Hinsdale, Illinois. That's not far from Chicago. Then went to Joliet Catholic High School. That's not far from the big prison. That first pitch is a ball. Blues Brothers went to that prison.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they were in Joliet. Joe was a second-round pick of Minnesota in 2005. There's a strike that just catches the upper outside strike zone, and it's 1-1. That ball is golfed to right, over toward the line. Mitchell is racing for it, and it's foul. He couldn't get to it. That wasn't too far outside the right field line.
Yeah, going full steam, and these guys are really going hard at that wall down that foul line. And that's always when you get a little bit nervous, like, yeah, you gotta slow up at some point before you ram into that wall.
Especially tricky for the right fielder when the wind is blowing cross from left to right because it's taking it even closer to the wall. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Benson. That's up and in, and it's 2-2. Joe, one season in the minors, 2010, he actually hit 27 home runs. That was with 2 teams, and that was his total for the year, but that was by far his best power season. That one's way outside, and it's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Joe was noted as much as anything in his affiliated ball 10-year career for stealing bases. He stole 141 of them in 10 years. Here's the next pitch. That's on the fists and fouled back to the screen. Very long hair. People in the Houston areas probably would say, well, that kind of reminds them of who's that outfielder they had a couple years ago? Left-handed hitter. Hit some home runs. There's a bouncing ball out to shortstop. A couple of hops. Coming in for it is Triunfo, and he gets him, but it was close. That retires the side, though. It's 1-2-3 for Williamson, and that's his second 1-2-3 inning. We've played 4. It's 5-2 in favor of York. looks like there may be some precipitation. Actually, there's a chance of some tomorrow, which of course the Skeeters don't want that at all. They've got a doubleheader scheduled, a split doubleheader, more specifically 2 single games. And that's what's on the card tomorrow. That's not what we want to see, but they up against the light towers. There's a very light mist. Triumphal will lead things off here in the 5th. He has flied to center and walked, and he started that 4-run rally in the 4th. 5-2 is the score. There's a high pop-up on the second pitch. Out to the shortstop, Aarons. Boy, the wind takes him all the way to the bag, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
Not just the wind, but the rain. You're looking into that, too. Very good concentration there by Aarons.
And now Brian Pounds, who has struck out and singled. Game time temperature was 83 degrees. I'm guessing it's dropped a little bit, but the wind has made it extremely comfortable for the fans, especially those that aren't in the mist right now, if it's still coming down. Don't think it is. It may have pretty much let up. Pounds has struck out and singled. First pitch is a ball. And the second one is on the way, and he swings and misses at one on the outside corner, fastball, and it's even at 1 ball and 1 strike. In 2014, playing for Camden, Pounds hit 16 homers, drove in 70 in 131 games. There's an off-speed pitch for a strike called, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And last year he played with York, hit 13 homers and had hit 250, drove in 69. Been a solid performer in the Atlantic League. Wide open stance. Here comes the pitch, and that's high. It's not even close. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That pitch was the kind of pitch, if you're a hitter, you love, because it's like, well, this ain't going to be close. I don't have to worry about this one. You can quit pretty early on it. Here's the 2-2. Working to the plate. That breaking ball almost caught him on the sleeve, but missed, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Play him defensively almost exactly straight away. I mean, there's hardly anybody that's moved much. Maybe the left fielder, Benson, slightly toward the line, but not much. And the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball. He swings through it, and that is out number 2.
Levin's really having some confidence with his breaking pitch there, throwing it on 3-2 and absolutely fooled Brian Pounds, who I'm sure was sitting fastball on that payoff.
What a difference an inning makes. First 2 hitters out, and now here comes Travis Witherspoon, who has not been retired yet. He came into the game hitting only .203, but he's helped himself a great deal. He's 2 for 2. He also has a run scored, a run batted in, and a stolen base. So it's been a game more like his career has shown he can do. But he'd been on a strikeout binge too. He'd struck out 7 times in the last 5 games, but now he's got a 1-1 count. Last year he was a really solid player for this team. Stole 41 bases and hit .282 with 10 homers, but he'll have to do some catching up. Here's the ball wide outside, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. We were talking about this with Ira about whether or not they should be stealing any bases. Well, this guy really should, based on his past record. There's a curveball slapped into the ground left field. Hung just a little bit, and it was not hard for Witherspoon to get to it. And that is his 3rd hit in 3 tries in this game. And that, I think that's the 9th hit for their team. Yeah, 9 hits in the game in 5 innings, 4 2/3. And now here's Derek Robinson. Blevins has given up 9 hits, but only 1 for extra bases. Everything else, 8 of them singles. They strung 4 of them together for 4 runs in the 4th. Working out of the stretch, here's the first pitch, a fastball on the inside corner, and it's no balls and a strike to Robinson. Robinson has struck out. He bunted for a base hit in the 4th inning. Runner at first base again, Witherspoon. He's already stolen once. There's a swing and a miss on a fastball outside corner. Actually, that's a good example of how moving the same pitch around can serve as two different pitches, and that's what he did there. He came inside with one, then he went outside with one. It's fastball. Hitter can't zero on a specific zone. 0-2 pitch. Runner goes. Here's the pitch slapped away, foul, out of play, and so Witherspoon will have to go all the way back. The count will hold at no balls and 2 strikes. Actually, running on an 0-2 pitch is somewhat rare, because if the defensive team has any idea, they can easily pitch out with a count like that.
Yeah, you're usually not going to get a hittable pitch on 0-2 anyway, so if you're trying to hit and run, then it's really not going to be successful.
0-2 will be coming again. Throw will go to first base. He dives back in. That really wasn't his number one pickoff move. Had it been, he probably would have gotten him. No balls and 2 strikes now to Robinson. The runner at first is Witherspoon. It's 5-2. York leads Sugar Land here in the top of the 5th. Good sized lead, not going, and they do pitch out. And he wasn't going. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, of course, if the wheels are turning over there with Witherspoon, you say, well, they just pitched out once. Will they pitch out twice? Nah, I'm going. There he goes. There's a pitch lined right past the shortstop. That would have been a hit anyway. It's going all the way to the wall. Here comes Witherspoon. He's going to score, and going into second base with a double is Derek Robinson. Wow. It worked as a hit and run. It was probably a run and hit, and the reality was that Robinson just hit the ball in the right spot. The shortstop position had been vacated by Aarons, but it would have been too high. He couldn't have caught it anyway. It would have been over his head. It just looked more dramatic. And that brings in another run. That also will bring out Gary Gaetti, and there will be a pitching change. And while we wait to discover who the pitcher is as he comes in from the bullpen, with the score now 6-2 in favor of York, we will take a break and be right back.
Well, Bobby Blevins done after 4 2/3 innings, and the first man out of the pen for the Sugar Land Skeeters is the side armor Chris Tribett, wearing number 31 on his back. Tribett, 5'11", 185, from Collinsville, Oklahoma, and he is a 30-year-old from Rogers State University. That's where he played his college ball, as well as Northeastern State. This season for Tribett, no record, a 6.75 ERA. This is the 6th time he's appeared for Sugar Land this year. He's thrown 6 2/3 innings, walked just 1, and struck out 6.
What he has going for him is a funky delivery that most people don't ever see, and that doesn't always work as well against left-handed hitters, and that's Mitchell, who he's facing first. His first pitch is outside, and it's a ball. He throws from down on the side, And that is a tough pitch for the right-handed hitter to pick up. Left-hander, it's not quite as tough. Here's the 1-ball, no-strike pitch, and that pitch slides over the outside corner for a strike. 1-1. Chris is an interesting story because he was he played with the Edinburgh Roadrunners with Skeeter bullpen catcher Jeff Allen, manager Ozzie Canseco, but he also was a player manager in the Pecos League at Roswell. Every time I hear Roswell, I think of Joe Bowman and all those home runs back in the days of the Martian invasions. 2 balls and a strike. There's a strike called, and it's, well, nope, he says that's outside, so it's 3-1.
Yeah, it was close again.
I almost thought that was almost going to be an automatic, and it's not. 3 balls and a strike. Runner at second base is Robinson with 2 outs. Yes, Bauman hit 72 home runs for Roswell in one season and drove in only 225. It's ball 4, and so Tribet's first man that he faces is walked. Runners now at first and second with 2 outs, and he goes to the top of the order. Another left-handed hitter in Joe Constanza. At 72 home runs, by the way, is still number 2 all-time for professional baseball. Bonds with 73. And number 1 in the minor leagues. That pitch is a strike called as he came back across. Little crossfire on that one and got a strike called. Constanza has bounced to second, singled and scored, and singled and driven in a run. That pitch is wide. 6-2. York on top. Top of the 5th. 1 ball and a strike. That's on the outside corner, 1-2. Just needs to get 1 more. Chris joined this team last year. He gave up being a player manager in 2015 when his team won the championship in the Pecos League. He figured he can't do any better. Runners are moving, at least at second base. Stealing third is Robinson. And holding at first base on the pitch, which is a ball, is Mitchell.
And that was odd. Mitchell had started and then stopped, and if Rodriguez had been able to handle that cleanly, if it wasn't in the dirt, then he would have definitely been able to gun over to first and throw out Mitchell.
Runners on the corners now with 2 outs. The count is 2-2, and that pitch is wide, and it's 3-2. So Chris is finding the strike zone a little difficult. There's a lot of action in the Skeeter bullpen. Nobody's throwing, but a lot of people moving around. The wind looks like it's shifted. The runner at first base goes in the 3-2, obviously with 2 outs, and it's ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Well, this is the last thing that Gary Gaetti wants out of his first reliever out of the pen. He comes in and walks the first 2 guys he faces. Just walking the first guy alone can make a manager's blood boil, but Tribet unable to find the strike zone against the second batter as well.
Now he will face Ryan Dent, who is 1 for 3 with a run batted in. Bases loaded, just needs 1 out. But he starts out by missing the strike zone with a pitch up and away, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Popped up, out of play, I believe, behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at third base, Derek Robinson. Runner at second base, Jared Mitchell. Runner at first base, Joe Constanza. 2 hits and 2 walks in this inning, 1 run in this 6-2 lead for York. Swing and a miss, but that's only strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
A lot of action on that slider there from Tribet. Really does get that nice launch angle with that sidearm delivery, and that one really does slide away from the right-handed hitters.
1-2 strikes out of that crouch on the mound. Here's the pitch, and that stays on the inside corner, and it got him for called strike 3, much to the dismay of Ryan Dent, who just stays transfixed at home plate, finally drops his helmet, and will join his team on defense. We have played the top of the 5th. It is York on top, 6-2. Well, something must be said, I think, for Mr. Williamson, because he's hung in there. He started out way wild with 5 walks, but in the 4th inning, he had a 1-2-3, and it was a really easy 1-2-3. After a 3rd inning in which the Skeeters actually scored a couple of runs and had a very short lead. But Williamson came into this game 0-2 with a 4.5 earned run average. His hits and innings pitched were even. The thing that was strange was he had walked 10 and struck out only 7, and had given up 4 home runs. Well, he may not be giving up any home runs the way the wind is blowing tonight. Someone would really have to get a hold of one. But you expected to perhaps see him give up a few more hits, and he's only given up 1 of those as we go to the bottom of the 5th, and Derek Piles leads it off. And he takes the first pitch up for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Piles from Avon, Illinois. That's where he was born, but he went to college in Daytona Beach. That ball is hit in the air to center field. Witherspoon will gather it in easily, and there's 1 out. He's keeping them off balance, is Mr. Williamson. I understand he picked up a lot of his pitching knowledge at San Angelo when Ira was instructing him back a few years ago. True, that's true. Yeah, Ira worked hard with him. Here's Prince leading it off. Well, he did have his best 2 years professionally when he was at San Angelo, and Ira was there for one of them. There's a chopper that's foul down the third base side, out of play, past Gary Gaetti. He watches it go all the way to the corner, where Robinson will retrieve it before we have our next pitch to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the defense pretty much straight away. For the most part, most hitters in this league are played straight away, unless they've been guys that everybody's seen a long time. Ball hit the shortstop up the middle, a flip and fire. Not in time. First baseman Burgess actually came off the bag, but don't think he would have got him anyway. It's an infield hit for Prince. Nice pick by Tremble.
That was really impressive by Trienfeld over there, and I'm surprised that he got a throw off in 1 motion as well. I think it maybe would have gotten there in time if it was on line and it didn't take first baseman Burgess off the bag. almost a spectacular play.
Well, it's a story of two things: why you go ahead and make the play, and also why you run it out hard, because you know a lot of different things could have happened off of that play. Here's Travis Scott, who has doubled and lines that one into the crowd. Bang! That's down there in the suicide section if you're not paying attention. In all ballparks, down the right and left field lines where the stands usually turn and face the field, you better be paying attention, because that's where foul balls can come hot and hard. Scott is 1 for 2 in the game. Swings through that one. Is a nice breaking ball down and away by Williamson, and the count now is 0-2. We've had a pretty strong wind the whole game. It was originally southeast at 21. I don't think it's slowed down much. Runner at first base goes. The throw through will be high, and a stolen base for Prince.
He's slow to get up, and
he may have come into the bag pretty hard.
Yeah, he was trying to find when he was going into second, he actually slowed up a bit and wanted to try and find the right angle to slide into second, because when the shortstop Trienfeld came over, he was kind of blocking second base.
Ordinarily, down by 4, you won't see a whole lot of steals, but the game is only in the 5th inning, and that means there's plenty of time to come back, and you can do it one run at a time. And what it was, he apparently picked up something. Remember earlier in the game we were talking about Williamson being pretty quick to the plate, and Williamson and Prince was up in the first, actually was up twice, and never tried to steal, and he may have thought he saw something, because actually he got a real good jump. He has apparently picked up when Williamson is committing to the plate. Here's the 1-2 strike count. That one stays down just a little bit, and it's 2-2. Barfield would be on deck. There's one out, runner at second base, so that means they're also out of the double play situation, but swing and a miss, and that's another breaking ball down and away, and that's the second time Scott has fanned, and it is the second out in the inning. And he's the only man that has fanned. Did have a double that drove in a run, but between that he has been handled by Williamson. And now Barfield, who has walked twice, has a chance to drive in a run and cut the deficit to 3. 6-2 right now in favor of York. Bottom of the 5th. Barfield with that open stance, slight bend in the knees, pops the first ball up right side. It's got to be handled by the second baseman. Runging over for it is Dent, and that was an easy play, and it turned out an easy inning for Williamson. He goes through 5, and he's got a 6-2 lead here at Sugar Land. move on to the top of the 6th inning. York will have Tejeda, Burgess, and Trienfeld up. That's 3, 4, 5 in the batting order. They already lead it 6-2. Tribett is still on the mound for the Skeeters. He got the last out in the 5th inning. Although he had to struggle, he walked a couple before he struck out Dent to end the inning. Isaiah Tejeda will be up. The right-handed hitting catcher has driven in 2 runs with a double and a single. He also flied to right. This guy has a record of being a pretty doggone good hitter. He's out of the Dominican Republic. Last year, for instance, for this team, he was in 65 games and only hit .356 with 9 homers and 38 runs batted in. That's pretty good. And he had a good year the year before for Tampa is A ball and Charleston in A ball, A positive, I should say A upper A, and then in lower A he combined for .277 with 5 homers and 42 runs batted in. I'm guessing, and this pitch is down and in, that he hadn't progressed quite as much as Atlanta, which was the system he was with last year, wanted, because he's 25 and he was still hovering around high A and A ball. There's always new guys coming in that are even younger. 1 ball and 1 strike as he swings at the second pitch after the first pitch was in tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tejeda.
Players will always tell you that that jump from high A to double A is the hardest one to make.
He never made it, so that's the problem. His best was in high A, and now he's 25. So make way. Started his career in the Yankee system, and then went to Atlanta and early last year. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the right-hander. Now he's taken too long, so he steps out of the box. Tribett has that crunched over stance. He's standing on the mound in the stretch position. Always works out of the stretch, regardless whether there's any on base or not, as the pitch is fouled away. And then he comes up and then back down a little bit, and then comes down from the side. Doesn't have great velocity, but if he's on, he's got good movement. Here's the 1-2. There's the big movement, big swing and a miss on a ball that broke away from Tejeda. That's 2 strikeouts in a row. Now Burgess hadn't been part of the party here. The 10 hits that York has through the first 5 innings, and Burgess, one of their top hitters on the team, is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball in the air all 3 times. He hit 2 fly balls to left field, and then also popped up to third. Left-handed hitter. First pitch breaks in on him. It was a breaking ball. It came around from outside and came out on the inside part of the plate, and snowballs at a strike.
He's trying to extend his 4-game hit streak as well.
He fouled that one. He hit it hard enough, but he fouled it down the right side, outside the first base bag, and it's 0-2. Number 21, out of Tampa, Florida, Hillsborough High School, I think, is the high school of baseball players, if I'm not mistaken. Been a few out of Tampa, and I think Hillsborough is usually where most of them are from. Here's the 0-2. Chopped on the ground, right side, bobbled at second base by Prince. He goes back, too late, and he's going to be safe at first on the error by Prince. The crowd here thought that he still recovered in time to throw him out, but the umpire at first base, Reggie Liggins, said, First error of the night for either team, and Trienfeld, the shortstop, is up. He hasn't joined the party as far as getting a hit, but he has walked and scored a run. He's 0 for 2. He's 5 to left and popped to short. Skeeters will play for a double play Up the middle, second baseman Prince a little bit closer to the bag, and shortstop Aarons is a little off. There is a hole between third and short, and between second and first, there's a huge hole there. No balls and a strike. Swing and a foul back. There's a toss over to first to keep Burgess close. Swing and a miss. A piece of his equipment fell off on that swing. I'm not sure what that was. It was an elbow pad.
Yep.
No balls and 2 strikes. Tribut's breaking ball, again, can be something that's you don't usually see. It slides in rather slowly, but it just never stops breaking. And if you can't figure it out before it's too late, you aren't going to hit it. Check of the runner at first base. Short lead being held by Scott. Here's the pitch to the plate. There's that breaking ball, and that caught the plate. That's strike number 2. And 3, I should say, and he's done.
He gave a little swing right after it was called the third strike, just the frustration there. I'd say that that's a little too late on the swing there, Carlos.
Yeah, that's not going to help protect the plate for sure. Here's Pounds, who struck out twice and singled in his 3 at-bats. He singled and scored one of the runs in that 4-run 4th inning, which has been the difference in the game. And the first pitch to him is a strike.
Greg, you were wondering about Hillsborough High School and some of the guys that they produced. Just the guys, here's a list of guys that they have been drafted out of Hillsborough High School. Gary Sheffield, Dwight Gooden.
Yeah, that's pretty good names.
Yeah, Carl Everett, too.
Yeah, they produced some players. No balls and 1 ball and 1 strike as his next offering slides outside. One and 1 to Pounds. Big third baseman lays off one of his rare fastballs, which is up and out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Tribut, 31 years old. Whole career's been an independent ball. That ball is sliding down low, and he's fouled back on the swing, and the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in this 6th inning. Top of it, the York Revolution lead the Sugarland Skeeters 6-2. They scored 4 runs in the 4th, and that's the difference. Crowd trying to get that 3rd out. Starting applause, and that pitch is wide, and the count goes full, and the runner at first base will get a jump. So Burgess will get off early on this pitch. And Pounds hits a gapper. He can drive in the 7th run. Working out of the stretch, runner goes. Here's the pitch. He misses outside, and it's full, or it's walked. It's the bases, I should say, have 2 on as the full count turns into a walk. That is the 3rd walk at Tribut. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs, and Witherspoon, who's had quite a night. 3 for 3. Coming into this game, he had struck out 7 times in his last 5 games. He has found it. Out to the shortstop, however, on the first pitch, and the flip over to second baseman Prince covering. Aarons to Prince, and that fielder's choice ends the inning. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 left, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Skeeters will have 4, 5, and 6 in the batting order. Coming up, trailing 6-2.
York Revolution will go to the bullpen now and bring out the right-hander Houghton Buchanan. 9 innings pitched for Buchanan. He's only given up 1 run, so that gives him an ERA of 1. He also has a record of 1-1. This is his 10th appearance for the Revs this season. And Buchanan was drafted twice, once by the Nationals in 2011 out of high school, and in the 20th round by the Mariners in 2014 from Ole Miss.
He's another one of those guys. It's somewhat of a puzzle, except when you look at his line. You think, his 45 games, he 2-3 minor leagues, 3.64. Well, what the problem was, 71 2/3 innings, only 60 hits. That's good, but not 62 walks. Looks like he has never mastered his control. And boy, I can see why on that first pitch. He's got a very high kick. He's a big guy, 6'8", 250 pounds. He's got a very high kick, and I can see off that first pitch why he's probably got to have some problems with command. 1 ball and no strikes. Just his mechanics are going to be hard to repeat. Bouncing ball out to short. Triumphal tosses it across, scoops it up at first by Burgess, and Aarons is the first out. Aarons is 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice fly in the 2-run third, and that's 1 out. He's also kind of old school with that delivery because you don't see too many pitchers coming up with a leg that high and straight over the top with a click delivery. Now here's Zawadzki, who was bounced out twice. He's happy, though, to see a right-hander, I suppose. He's so happy he was thinking of bunting for a hit, and he went through it, and it's no balls and a strike.
Yeah, he saw that third baseman way back, so he figured why not, but came up empty.
Houghton Buchanan is one of those rare cases. There's a couple of them on this team that were drafted lower once than they were later. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen. That went off the catcher's chest mask. He was drafted in the 19th round by the Nationals in 2011. That's out of high school. And then later, out of college, he was drafted a round later, which apparently would indicate he had not helped himself much during his college careers, because those scouts saw that raw ability out of high school, and then it wasn't as refined as much as they wanted to see out of college.
He only had a short career in the affiliated realm, only pitched 45 games at a 3.64 ERA.
Didn't throw enough strikes. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Last year, he pitched in a league that just started up in 2016, the United Shore Professional Baseball League. And it's a 4-team league, and they all play at the same stadium up in Utica, Michigan.
Oh, so it's shore of Lake Michigan?
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2. That's fouled back, check swing, and the count holds 1 ball and 2 strikes. I was wondering what shore that was. Don't have much room on the eastern shore for more independent teams.
I don't think so. You gotta jam them all into one stadium, I guess.
No travel expenses.
There you go.
Here's the 1-2. Just a little bit low, and it's 2-2.
There are a lot of leagues like that around the country that you really don't hear about. I mean, obviously the most popular independent leagues are this one here, the Atlantic League, the Frontier League, and the American Association as well. But then there's all these lower leagues that you just don't even know about. Sometimes they start up a year or two ago.
Oh, in the summer there's a lot of baseball that we don't hear much about because it is either independent or it's college leagues. There's a lot of college leagues too nowadays. And they just don't get the publicity. But there's a lot of place for players to play if they want to keep playing. Still have some skill. Here's the 3-2 pitch now. Pop up in the air and out of play, back behind the stands. He gets it up there pretty well. Low 90s is the best I've seen on our board. They're telling us before the game they are calibrating the radar gun here, so I'm not sure if they have it calibrated where they want it or not, but it is registering. 5,288 are attendance tonight. Good crowd on this Friday night, and a walk to Zawadzki. Skeeters have been running third in the Atlantic League in total attendance this year. This one will jack it up a little bit more. Now Derek Miller, who has walked and flied to left. Zawadski reaches base for the first time on the 6th walk given up by York. That pitch is down and away and blocked by catcher Tejeda. 1 ball and no strikes. Buchanan working out of the stretch. It's on the outside corner with a fastball for a strike call. Buchanan has a, as you might think with his size, a football background, but not what you might think. Not him. Not even the right position. There's a strike called on the inside corner as Miller at least bluffed a bunt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Houghton Buchanan's grandfather, Raymond Brown, was a quarterback at Ole Miss, played safety for Baltimore, the Colts, and backed up Johnny Unitas, so he was not a big 6'8", 250-pounder. That's fouled back.
Here we go, fans. Everybody's going to be aware. We're going to give you details on how you can claim your prize at the end of the inning.
1 ball and 2 strikes still to Miller. Came into the game at 290. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Skeeters have been held to just 2 hits into the 6th. That's low and blocked. No advance by the base runner at first, Zawadski. And it's 2-2. Line shot up the middle, base hit. Miller with a base knock. Going into second base is Zawadski. That ball was hit right on the line, just got past the glove of the starting or the relief pitcher Buchanan, who stuck his glove out there. I'm not sure if it ticked the end of his glove or not. It was hit very well.
I think it did get a piece of his glove. It was very close, and Buchanan maybe feeling like he wants that one back to try and get an out there, and maybe could have induced a double play as well, catching Zawadski off the base to try and double him up. But instead, a very nicely hit single right up the middle from Miller, who has really been seeing the ball well lately.
As I said earlier, I've been impressed with him in the games I've seen. He was a good acquisition, good solid all-around outfielder. Here's Rodriguez, who has hit into a double play and bounced back to the pitcher. Runners at first and second with 1 out. It's only the 6th, so the Skeeters have plenty of time to come back from a 4-run deficit. Just going to have to string some together. And they've only had 3. That pitch is a strike call. They've had 3 hits and 6 walks, so they've had people on base, but they've only scored 2 runs. One on an RBI double by Travis Scott in the 3rd, and the other on a sacrifice fly by Erlins in the same inning. No balls and 2 strikes to Rodriguez now, as the second pitch was a called strike. That's way up top for a ball. It's 1-2. Infielders up the middle for York. Triunfal and Dent are in a double play position. So they're looking for Rodriguez to hit one on the ground. He's hit the ball on the ground twice. Of course, he hasn't faced Buchanan yet. Fouled at the plate, and the count holds. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Home plate umpire Jim Tatum comes back, picks up the ball, rubs it in the grass, says, "That's good enough, back in the bag." Rodriguez wearing that number 9, right-handed batter, slightly open stance. Waggling the bat a bit. Here's the next pitch, and he lines it into left field over the leap of pounds. The third baseman, Gary Gaetti, will hold his runner Zawadzki at third, as he had to hold up anyway when the ball was hit because it could have been caught. And so the Skeeters now have 2 hits in a row. That equals their total for the game. And the bases loaded with Joe Benson coming up. Well, this would be a great time for the right-handed version of Kobe Rasmus. That's who I was trying to think of earlier because he's got the Rasmus hair. Right-handed batter who's actually built in a very similar way, except from the right-handed side. He's got a record of having some power. He's got the bases jammed and represents the tying run with 1 out. Working from the stretch. Buchanan, a swing and a miss on a fastball, and it's 0-1.
That was the type of swing you were describing there, Greg. He definitely went for it there. It's going to take a lot to hit one out of the ballpark, as we've said earlier on in the broadcast, with that wind blowing in. Right now it's kind of going out from left center.
Line shot in the gap would work fine here in the 6th inning. Here's the next pitch. That stays in tight, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, the wind has swung around. It's great at this moment for a left-handed hitter, but Benson isn't. 1 ball and a strike. Bases loaded here in the 6-2 York lead here in the 6th. From the stretch, the pitch is outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike. $5,288 have been urged to jack up the noise meter a little bit. They come through, and now working out of the stretch, we'll see if Benson can come through. Here's the 2-1. Popped up, and it will be on the infield. It will be an infield play. It's an out. The pitcher did not catch it, but it doesn't matter. It was an infield fly. The pitcher dropped it. Didn't matter. So Benson goes down the scorebook as popping up to the pitcher just the same.
Yep, that's exactly why that rule's in place, because if not, they could have easily turned a double play there.
He didn't drop it on purpose, but he also showed why a lot of teams will not let pitchers catch pop-ups.
Absolutely.
And now Piles will be up with the bases still loaded and 2 outs. Are we going to have a pinch hitter? That's where Wilkins, I believe, is coming up. Put a left-handed hitter in. Wilkins is a .266 hitter with 5 homers and 13 runs batted in. That's second most homers on the team. Wouldn't it be nice here to have a big pinch hit? Left-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher, bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch is popped in the air over toward the stands on the left side. Pounds can't get to it. It's about 8 rows deep. No balls and a strike to Wilkins. Wilkins is 4 for his last 8 over the last 2 games. So he's in a bit of a roll. And the fastball is low for a ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Had a 2-homer game in the second of a doubleheader against Somerset a couple days ago.
Oklahoman, who played last year in affiliated ball with Colorado Springs in AAA, 12 home runs there. Waiting for the 1-1 pitch, waggling the bat. Looking as Buchanan comes to the plate, and he hits the ball high and deep to right field. But the wind is not going to help it. It's a foul ball. Wind just blew it foul.
It had the distance for sure.
It just the wind is blowing almost directly toward the pole in right field from the outfield, and it just kept blowing it to the right.
I think it was just the exact moment at when he hit that ball. That's where the wind was. I think if it was, 10 seconds later, it probably would have stayed fair.
How close it was from being a tie ball game. Instead, the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. 6-2 York, bottom of the 6th. Buchanan from the stretch. The pitch on the way to Wilkins. Chops it foul to the right side near the dugout. Stopped by on-deck hitter Josh Prince. Toss to the bat boy. Wilkins steps out of the box, gets set to get back into that left-handed side. Crowd's making noise. Wilkins concentrating, wanting another one of those Buchanan fastballs in the right spot. Buchanan working from the stretch once again. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and chopped foul outside to the right side, picked up by the coach's box on the first base side, and the count is still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, the Skeeter fans would love to see Wilkins really get a hold of one and drive in all 4, but I'll say the same thing with him. There's a huge gap in left center. He gets it there, 3 are going to score. Meanwhile, we're going to have at least a conference on the mound as time has been called.
Yeah, Paul Fletcher, the pitching coach, going out in the middle of this count here to make sure that he goes over what those two are thinking about delivering to Wilkins as far as the pitch type, I would imagine.
Well, and he's got to tell him too. Remember, we're ahead by 4, so even if he gets a single, it's not going to hurt. So pitch to him. Don't be afraid of him. Easier said than done when you see this big left-handed bat with power stepping in here with the bases loaded. Count remains 1-2, 2 outs. Buchanan from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lined into the glove of the second baseman, Dent, and that retires the side. He hit it hard enough, and he hit it actually with some spin on it that made it dive down, but Dent stayed with it, and that retires the side. The Skeeters threatened with the bases loaded and 1 out. They get none of them home. So we've played 6, and it's still York 6, Sugarland 2. Skeeters are down 6-2 as we go to the top of the 7th, and they'll send their 3rd pitcher of the game to the mound. This will be right-hander Trey Haley, number 26, 6'4", 215-pounder from Nacogdoches, Texas. Played in Altoona last year, 9 years as a pro. He's off to a good start with the Skeeters. This will be his 8th appearance. He has a 1.29 earned run average, just 7 innings pitched, only 5 hits. Struck out 5. He has walked 7. That's a bit high. And the 208 batting average against. And he's going to face the bottom two in the order, Robinson, Mitchell, and the top, Constanza, as the Skeeters trail 6-2. And the rally man returns, Ira Liebman for the 7th.
Thanks, Julie. Almost rallied the Skeeters there with a grand slam. In fact, Haley with the 2 home runs 2 nights ago. Last night, he was 1 for 3, and he hit 2 balls on the nose that should have been hits or outs. I mean, he crushed the ball to second and crushed one to right. So he is really seeing the ball well right now. I'll see if Haley can keep this game where it's at, 6-2, York in front. Be Derek Robinson, Jared Mitchell, then back to the top of the order with Jose Constanza. So far in this game, Robinson has struck out a bunt single. He has doubled, scored a run, stolen a base, and driven in a run. Skeeters trailing 6-2. The first pitch here by Haley is low. 1 ball and no strikes to count here from Haley. Haley yet to be scored upon in 7 appearances. Very wide open stance from the left side for the switch hitting Robinson. This one misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Six runs on 11 hits for the Revolution. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Skeeters. They have committed 1 E. The York Revolution has not. This one low and in. 3 balls and no strikes here. Take a look at the repertoire on Haley. Features a fastball, a slider, a sinker, and a change. 4 pitches for a reliever. Oh, he's very good. The 3-0. He has missed by a lot on all 4 of those pitches. Haley comes in and walks the first man he faces, and that'll bring in the left-handed hitting right fielder, Jared Mitchell.
Walks are getting close now. It's 6-5. 5 of them from Williamson, the starting pitcher for York, but the Skeeters couldn't get many hits off of him. Now the Skeeters have 5 walks.
Yeah, Williamson didn't look like he was going to make it through 3. Winds up going 5 innings, just 2 hits, 2 runs both there, and 5 walks and 2 strikeouts. This one is a strike near the knees. No balls and 1 strike to count. That wind is shifting again. Now it's blowing out towards right center a bit. The 0-1. There goes the runner. This one swung hit into left field. Benson is there. And now Robinson's going to have to quickly get back. He does. The line drive to left is out number 1. 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Back to the top of the order with Jose Constanza. Constanza has grounded out to second, singled twice, walked, driven in a run, and scored a run. Officially 2 for 3. He'll step in here with the Skeeters trailing 6-2. Let's see if Haley can keep it that way. Haley hails from Nacogdoches. Now he steps off, and they're going to peel at second.
He did not touch.
Oh, wow. They're going to call him out.
That means he did not retouch the bag after he left on that pitch on the fly ball. Well, I don't know how with 2-man crew you see all that, but apparently he's not complaining, so he must not have. He must have known he didn't.
Wow. I thought I saw him run over second and then run past it, unless he didn't do it on the way back.
That's what I mean. He has to touch it on the way back if he passes it on a fly ball, and he didn't.
There's one in the dirt, gets away from Rodriguez. One ball and no strikes to count here. I don't know which member of the Skeeters. I'm thinking it's probably Josh Prince noticing that. He's always pretty heads up. Whoever did, tip the cap to him. This one right down the middle for a strike. Wow, where was that? Well, how much further down the middle that could have been. 2 balls and no strikes, so they say. This one is a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. This one also down the middle. That one a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Skeeters trailing 6-2 here in the top half of the 7th inning. Haley from the stretch. In at third is Zawadzki, and this one is fought off. The fist goes the other way. See, some of the guys smell the bat after they kind of rip one like that.
Yeah, they
what
feel
actually
the heat.
burns.
Yeah, they like the heat, the heat feel.
They're not really feeling it. They're just seeing if it smells, if they can smell that burnt smell off the timber of the wood. The 2-2. So on a hit towards third. Zawadzki backhands it. The toss across in time, and that will do it. Well, it is 7th inning stretch time, so get your peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I do care if you never come back. Skeeters down by 4, 6-2.
Veteran Major Leaguer Manny Corpus becomes the 3rd pitcher for York. Corpus, the right-hander out of Panama, had a career with the Rockies. He joined their system in '99 and was debuted in the big leagues in 2006. 7 major league seasons with Colorado and the Cubs in 2012. That was the end of his major league career. He was 13-12. And so he is in. Last year with York, he was in 34 games, so he knows this league.
First pitch to Prince was a ball 1-0. Prince been on base all 3 times, 2 walks and an infield single. He's also stolen a base. This one is strike, 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Corpus 6'3", 210. Born originally in Panama City, Panama. Still lives in Denver. As one misses. 2 balls and a strike here. Skeeters trailing 6-2. The 2-1 here from Corpus. This one is chopped foul at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Career 13-20 record of 4.14 ERA, including 34 saves. Actually saved a career high 19 in 2007. The 2-2 coming here to Prince. Slings it in there, high and outside the run. The count full 3-2. That is the 3rd 3-2 count Prince has seen tonight. Really seeing the ball well right now. Payoff pitch on the way here to Josh. See if they go back outside. They do, and this one's swung in, chop foul. So number 7 will see a 7th pitch. The last 2 seasons out of the country. In the Mexican League and it's like Venezuela. Payoff pitch again here to Prince. Swan and lifted into center. Right there is Witherspoon. The center fielder will come in and bring it down for out number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
I'll bring in Travis Scott. Scott has struck out twice after hitting a double and an RBI. He also scored a run. Scott came in at 274, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs. Skeeters are trailing by 4 here. Get you some career numbers on Corpus as well here as we move along. This one is low and in. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Interesting batting numbers. 0 for 10 lifetime. This one swung and chopped towards third. That's a fair ball. Back hanging in his pounds. Fires it across the diamond. Not in time. I can tell you why he was safe. The ball actually beat Scott there, but Burgess tried to cheat and come off the bag early.
Yeah, he was hopping and jumping around across the infield. Burgess was.
Did the old first baseman stretching towards the ball and pulling his foot off the bag, hoping the ump wouldn't notice it.
And now he's laughing down there, so he knows.
He is.
He knows they caught him.
You're busted, Mr. Burgess. 1 on and 1 out here for Jeremy Barfield. Skeeters down 6-2. Still have time left here. Still have 3 more innings to work with. First pitch to Barfield. Swan and a little looper to second. This is going to be a twin killing 4-6-3, and that will do it here. Dent certainly has some flyer to him at second. An unconventional 1-2-3. We're through 7. It is still 6-2 York.
Featuring the best Cajun seafood, Texas steaks.
Skeeters will go to the bullpen again. This will be their 4th arm. Evan Reed, the right-hander, began his professional career in the Rangers system. His 10th year in professional baseball. Reed is a 6'4", 255-pounder out of Goodyear, Arizona. Played at Lincoln last year. 10 years in professional baseball, right-hander, and he will come in to face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this inning. And for the year, Reed is in his 12th game, 10 2/3 innings, 15 hits, and an earned run average of 5.91.
Well, Reed, really, that ERA at 5.90, a bit deceiving. He allowed 5 runs in his first appearance in a third of an inning, but in his last 10 appearances, he's allowed just 2 earned runs. One of them last time out against Somerset in the Skeeters 7-4 win. He went 1 inning, 1 run. It was earned on 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 Ks. But he is really throwing a lot harder now. See some pretty good fastball here from Reed as he faces 2, 3, and 4. Dent, Tejada, and Burgess. Dent, he's 1 for 4. He singled flatter to right, hit into a fielder's choice, but drove in a run and was caught looking last time up. Well, that rain had gotten pretty hard. Looked like it was going to get dangerous, but it has gone away. They just want to strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike to count here to Dent. Dent came in at 265, no home runs and 2 RBIs. The 0-1. This one swung and foul tipped into the mitt of Rodriguez. And quickly no balls and 2 strikes to count. Big league career numbers of 0-2, a 4.20 ERA in 48 career games. Minor league career numbers 20 and 24 with a 3.92 ERA. The 0-2. Swung and hit towards short. Aaron's charges it to his left, fires it on the run, and there's out number 1. 6-3 on the putout, 1 out and none on. Isaiah Tejeda will step in. He's having a pretty good night. He is 2 for 4 with a double, a single, 2 RBIs. Has also flied out to right and struck out last time up. Came in 5th in the league and hitting at .338, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. Steps number 16 here against the Skeeters right-hander Evan Reed. First pitch here by Reed. This one, big swing and a miss. Reed has got 2 very good pitches, a fastball and a slider. York, 6 runs on 11 hits. Sugarland, 2 runs on 5. Tomorrow, a day-night doubleheader, noon and 6. The 0-1. Swung and chop past Reed up the middle, backhanded by Prince from the shortstop side. Got him! Baby doll Prince has done it again. Woo!
That was an amazing play. He was actually behind the bag, slightly to the shortstop side, backhanded it, and had to flip himself in the air and put enough on the throw, and he got a strong throw over there.
That wasn't bang bang at first either. He got Tejada by about a step and a half maybe. Well, then steps Burgess. Reed has a chance for a 1-2-3 inning now. Michael Burgess, the left-hand hitting first baseman, has flatted to left twice. He has popped out the third, then reached on an error by Skeeter second baseman Josh Prince, but he certainly made up for it there. Fastball misses low and in near the feet of Burgess. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Reed from the stretch. A wheel and deal, the 1-0. Swung and chopped to the right side. That is a fair ball. And touching first is Scott. That'll do it. Great job by Reed. 3 up, 3 down. A ground ball to short, second, and first. Middle of the 8th inning. Skeeters are down 4, 6-2. We'll see if they can get a few when we get back here in just a moment. They have a new pitcher.
Another
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, here he comes.
6. No. Payoff pitch to Miller is low and in, ball 4. So Miller walks for the 11th time this season, his second tonight. So 1 on with 2 down. Now bringing Wilfredo Rodriguez.
Catch from 9, Wilfredo Rodriguez.
So in steps Wilfredo. Yesterday's game there was a Wilfredo and an Alfredo Rodriguez. Didn't know if I was calling a game or ordering pasta. First pitch here down the middle for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to count. Chicken Alfredo. Chicken Wilfredo. I think I just invented a new dish.
And they're both called by their teammates Fred.
The 0-1. This one low and away.
At least they're non-Latin teammates.
Fredo, you broke my heart. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wilfredo. The 1-1 swung and slam foul. That one to the net by the Skeeters dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rodriguez came in .333, no home runs and no RBIs. Just his 3rd game this season for the Skeeters. Is now 3 for 9 on the season, so still batting .333. With a good lead off of first. So it's swung a hit towards second. Second baseman Dent has it. He'll fire it to first, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. We are through 8. It is still the Revolution in front by 4, 6-2 over your Sugarland Skeeters.
Skeeters bring Mark Haynes into the game. Mark is a Sugarland native, went to Austin High School, Rice University. He is having a good year. This is his, let's see, this would be his 12th appearance. 11 2/3 innings, allowed only 9 hits. He struck out 10, walked 7. Batting average against .220. He has a 1.54 earned run average. And so in his 7th year of professional baseball, he is here to close out the top of the 9th and keep it at least no more than a 4-run deficit.
Well, a Sugarland native, went to 5, 6, and 7. He's been very good for the Skeeters. He allowed those runs in his last appearance. He had been unscored upon since, or before rather. Skeeters are down 6-2. Want to keep it that way. Well, the Spasmatics are coming back to Constellation Field on June 9th. Spend some time after the Skeeters game and hear a performance from one of the country's most popular 80s band. Be sure to join us Friday, June 9th for exciting post-game entertainment from the Spasmatics. For tickets, call 281-240-HITS or log on to sugarlandskeeters.com. So in steps Carlos Trienfeld. He is struck out, popped out, walked, and flied out. So 0 for 3 with a run scored. Haynes gets a sign here from Rodriguez. They're going to set up away on the first pitch to Trienfeld. And the first pitch is swung. It sounded like a broken back, little squibber to Prince, and it kept sliding away from him. I'll throw it to first, however. 4-3 on the putout, and there's one down. I'll bring in Brian Pounds, the U of H product. He has struck out, singled, and walked. He is 1 for 3. He has struck out twice, walked, and singled. Pounds came in at 215, 3 home runs and 13 RBIs for Pounds. First pitch here from Haynes to Pounds. This one is low and away. Ball 1 ball and no strikes to count. He is trailing 6-2 here in the top half of the ninth. Pounds, while at U of H, hit .354 in his final season. This one is a strike on the outside corner. Really broke out in his first 3 seasons. He had .279, a home run, 9 RBIs. In his second season, .231, no home runs, 5 RBIs. As a junior, just .222, 2 home runs, 28 RBIs. Then in his senior year, .354, 10 home runs, 67 RBIs. That's what would eventually get him drafted. 34th round by the Tigers in 2008.
That's called hanging with it, because obviously until then he would not have been even considered a prospect.
Nope. 2014 with the River Sharks, the last 2 with the Revolution. Also spent time in the American Association. As I mentioned, the Tiger system. This one a little high and tight on Pounds. That'll run the count to 2 balls and a strike here.
Well, that was one of those Rice to UH type pitches.
Excuse me, 3-1 here on Pounds. Sugarland native. You're right. This is U of H Rice right here with Haynes going to Rice, but it is Pounds who wins the U of H battle as he walks him 1 on and 1 out for Travis Witherspoon. Witherspoon having a good night. He is 3 for 4, 3 singles. He has driven in a run, scored 2, and stolen a base. Instead, the right-hand hitting center fielder who came in at 203 with the home run and 4 RBIs. Throw to first, getting back his Pounds. Pounds usually not much of a threat to steal. Maybe they're just trying to relive that rivalry. First pitch here to Witherspoon. This one is a fastball that just misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Haynes features a fastball, slider, and a splitter. The 1-0 here from Haynes. He keeps an eye on Pounds and comes home. Big swing and a miss there as Haynes blows the fastball by him. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Again, Skeeters trailing by 4, 6-2 here in the top half of the ninth. Haynes looks in for the sign from Rodriguez. They set up outside. The 1-1 here by Haynes. Swung and fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Witherspoon in his 9th season as a pro, 2nd with the Revolution. He's actually 6th in Revolution history in stolen bases with 37. Talk about a franchise that doesn't run. Last season at 293, 8 home runs, 34 RBIs. That was just in 81 games after being acquired midseason with a trade from the Barnstormers. That doesn't happen too often. That's like the Yankees and Red Sox making a trade. The 1-2. This one swung and missed. In fact, every year they play for this Community Cup as Witherspoon strikes out here.
She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
So 2 down as Derek Robinson steps in. The switch hitter will bat from the left side. He has been on base 3 times after striking out in his first at bat. He had a bunt single. He doubled and then walked last time up. He's also driven in a run, scored a run, and stole a base. Revolution leading the Skeeters 6-2 here in the top of the 9th. He's trying to keep it that way. They set up away. And the first pitch is low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, in the bottom of the 9th, Skeeters will have Joe Benson, Andy Wilkins, and Josh Prince to start it off, down at least 4. Now Haynes is going to get the dirt out of his spikes. 6 runs on 11 hits for York, 2 runs on 5 hits for the Skeeters. The 1-0 here. So Benson is hit. And a diving stop by Prince again. He shovels it to short, and he has been unbelievable tonight. Fielder's choice will go down 4-6, but man, put at least 1 star next to that one in your scorebook. Bottom of the 9th when we get back. Skeeters trailing 6-2. We'll see if they have a rally in them when we return. Back in a moment.
Let's see who they got coming in here. And they don't need their closer, but they'll use him anyway. Although, I got 3, I think. Let's see if it is.
All right, fans, it's bottom of the 9th. Get your rally caps on. It's rally time.
Well, the closer is going to come in. He's not really in a closing situation, but Brad Allen, the right-handed pitching 6'4", 220-pounder out of Elk Grove Village, Illinois, and lives in Naperville, not far from Chicago, is in to try to shut this one down. He's had a very, very good season. He hadn't allowed a run in his last 8 2/3 innings. And so he has been filling the bill. He has just 3 saves, and this one is not a save opportunity, but it's certainly a shut down the game and let's get back into our hotel opportunity. And he is on the mound.
Allen is 28 years old, 6'4", 220. Born in Elks Grove Village, Illinois. Now Naperville, Illinois is where he resides. Been as high as Advanced A. Last year spent time in Dunedin in the Blue Jays system. Went to Northern Illinois College, Elgin Community College, and then Arkansas State. First pitcher to Benson, a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Lifetime record of 21-24 with a 4.44 ERA. Benson tonight has flied out, popped out, and grounded out. This one a bit high and tight here, 1-1. Allen has spent time in the Frontier League, the Midwest and Cal League, Frontier League for a second time, and the Florida State League last year. This one a strike, good off-speed pitch there. The old dewdrop in, drops over the inside portion of the plate for a strike, 1-2 here on Benson. Skeeters are down 6-2 here in the bottom of the 9th. The 1-2 by Allen, swung and missed, blows a fastball past him, and that is out number 1. The Skeeters down to their final 2 outs.
The pitching for York has been impressive, and it was impressive coming in. The team earned run average was 3.45. They were averaging, giving up almost 4.2 runs a game because of that the weak defense.
Linsup's Andy Wilkins. Wilkins just missed a grand slam earlier in this game. Ball pushed foul by the wind, then lined sharply to second in his only trip to the plate.
Yeah, that would have been a game-tying grand slam, by the way. This game would have been even at 6-6. And then he hit a line drive that was caught.
He has been just destroying the ball, even his outs. He hit 2 balls on the nose last night. He could have been 3 for 3. 2 home runs the day before that. The 2-0 here to Wilkins. Big swing and a miss. Chased a high fastball. There are 2 balls and 1 strike to count on the former big leaguer, Andy Wilkins. The 2-1. This one a strike, 2-2. Goes to the back of the mound. Now he's ready. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Skeeters trailing 6-2 here in the bottom of the 9th. This one swung and fouled back and out of play. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilkins had a great season in 2014. And AAA Charlotte, he had 30 home runs, 85 RBIs, hit 293. We get him promoted to the big leagues with the White Sox. For 17 games, this one hammered foul down the left side. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year, he combined 13 home runs between Colorado Springs at AAA and the Brewers. Back to the big leagues for the second time, 26 games with the Brew Crew. The 2-2. Swung on, popped up left side. That'll make the seats, though. Count 2-2 still. Allen gets the sign, winds and deals the 2-2. Swung a hit to the right side. Tough play for the first baseman, Burgess, but he gets it to his right. And he'll flip it to the covering Allen, and the Skeeters down to their final out here, trailing 6-2 here in the bottom of the 9th.
If you want to look for a positive for the Skeeters, though they're down 6-2, the fact the bullpen was superb. They finished the game coming in the 6th inning and did not allow a hit. All the hits off starter Bobby Blevins in his stint.
Last chance to keep this one going for the Skeeters as we go back to the top of the order. Josh Prince. First pitch a little bit low, 1-0. Prince walked his first 2 times up in an infield single in his 3rd trip to the plate, and then last time up flat out to center. He's also stolen a base. The 1-0 way high. As Tejeda had to come out of the crouch and reach high for that one. 2-0. Allen 14 pitches, 9 of them for strikes so far. The 2-0 here to Prince. This one is a little bit low, 3-0. Well, you need base runners, down 6-2 here in the bottom of the 9th. Scott Barfield Aaron's coming up if the Skeeters can get a few on. The 3-0 to Prince is a strike on the inside corner. Prince thought he had ball 4. 3-1 the count. And the Bluebirds come out. A 3-1 here to Prince. Jack swing, but a strike down the middle. And the Skeeters down to their final strike here. 3-2 on Prince. Payoff pitch to Prince. This one is outside, ball 4. Everybody on the infield for the Revolution thought it was strike 3 and the game was over. Third walk of the night for Prince.
That's another positive because he's starting to do that on-base thing. He's had a hit and 3 walks.
For your Skeeters, first baseman number 16, Travis Scott.
Travis Scott will try to keep it going with the Skeeters trailing 6-2 here in the bottom of the ninth. With 2 outs and a man on. That man, Josh Prince. It's the 7th time tonight the Skeeters have walked, so they've certainly gotten a lot on. They have more walks than hits. There goes Prince. And they will not throw it down there. That'll be the old defensive indifference. Pitch to Scott, a strike, so 0-1 on Travis Scott. Tejeda thought about it. I don't know why he didn't just throw down there. Even if he threw wildly into center, you're still up 4 runs. You surprised he didn't throw through?
Well, did anybody cover the bag?
That's a good question. Thought somebody was there. The 0-1. This one way inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Might be right, actually.
He could have practiced. Seeing how close he could get to the bag.
Be like cricket when you have to hit the wicket.
Yeah.
I don't know how you hit that wicket. Just a little stick in the dirt. The 2-1 to Scott. Curveball high, 3-1. 20 pitches now here for Allen. 12 for balls, 12 for strikes, 8 for balls. Allen from the stretch. The 2-1 here to Scott. Swung on and foul back, and once again, Skeeters down to their final strike and will try to stave off elimination here. The Travis Scott chant starting here. Payoff pitch is down low. I guess that was wrong on the scoreboard. Now it's 3-2. Scott hanging tough here. Let's see if Scott can get aboard here. Payoff pitch here by Allen. This one low and in, ball 4. Now the ball gets away from the catcher, Tejeda. Prince will go to third. I think wild pitch or pass ball there? I'm going to say pass ball.
I think it was a pass ball.
The Skeeters need 1 more to reach here to bring the tying run to the plate. Well, even if Barfield hits a 3-run homer, the Skeeters will still be down 1. Barfield tonight has walked twice, popped out, and hit into a double play. And they do officially call it a pass ball. First pitch here, a ball. Ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes to count. Skeeters trailing 6-2 here in the bottom of the ninth. Gary talks about this team. There is no quit in them. This one fouled over our heads behind the plate here, 1-1 to Barfield. Called this team a few years ago grinders. I wonder how he describes this team.
Well, it's a team that doesn't give up any at-bats. Their approach at the plate is not dictated by the scoreboard.
Non-giver-uppers just doesn't have a good ring to it, though. This one hammered deep to left field. Will it go? It is gone! And now the Skeeters down just 1 on Jeremy Barfield's 8th home run of the year. And it's suddenly a 6-5 ball game.
Case in point, every at-bat counts.
Now the Skeeters with a shot here. They've been down to their final strike twice. That'll bring Kevin Aarons, who certainly has power, going to get a visit to the mound here. There's the pitching coach for the Revolution, Paul Fletcher.
There you go. It's another one of those cases where you bring in a closer when it's not a closing situation and they stink.
Well, it's a closing situation now, even though he wouldn't
Not
get
for
credit
him.
for the
Yeah,
save.
not for him. It'll be for the next guys. If they bring in a left-hander, they've got a left-hander warming up.
27 pitches now for Allen, 15 for strikes, 12 for balls. Looks like they're going to leave him in for now. That is Chase Hutchinson warming up in the pen, 6'5" lefty.
Well, if Aarons gets on, he may be coming in to face the left-handed hitting Zawadzki.
Let's see if Aarons can keep it going here. Aarons tonight is grounded out twice, struck out, and had a sac fly RBI. First pitch is strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Deep behind the bag and guarding the line is Pounds at third. Check swing, but a strike on the outside corner.
Those have both been excellent pitches in a spot where nobody's going to do much with them.
Well, for the third time, the Skeeters down to their final strike. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2.
Looked like the game plan was I'm going to throw 3 of these pitches to this spot, and you won't do anything with them. Well, third one wasn't a strike.
The 1-2 swung on, popped up. This will probably do it right side. The first baseman, Michael Burgess, will squeeze it just to the left of first, and that's the game. It's a great rally here in the ninth. Give them credit. They could have quit a long day of travel, but they hold to within 1. That's as close as they get, losing 6-5. 6 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Revolution. 5 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Skeeters. We're going to take a break. We will come back. We'll give you the final numbers. We will have our player of the game, highlights, and preview tomorrow's double dip. All that and more. We'll return on the Skeeters post-game show in a moment.
In just a little bit, you've got some lunch ball.
You can't get the home run quick enough, right?
It's Friday night.
Okay.
You know what that means. Y'all ready for some fireworks? I don't feel like I really up here in front of this. I said, are you ready for some fireworks?
Okay.
All right. Ready? We're going to count it down in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah, fireworks. I'm sorry. I forgot. That's why I needed to get it closed now.
3:23. What is this? What is this spot? Welcome to the Skeeters post-game show. A disappointed Ira Leben as the Skeeters rally in the ninth, but fall a little bit short, losing 6-5. 6 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Revolution. 5 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Skeeters. The winning pitcher is Logan Williamson. He improves to 1-2. The losing pitcher is Bobby Blevins for the Skeeters. He drops to 2-1. Time of the game, 3 hours and 23 minutes in front of 5,288 here on a Friday night fireworks at Constellation Field, which are going off right now behind us. Let's tell you how this one happened. It was scoreless through the first 2. Logan Williamson looked like he might not make it through the third, but it was York who struck first in the top half of the third inning after a leadoff single by Jose Constanza. A fly out by Dent, 1 on and 1 out. Up came Isaiah Tejeda. Oh, it was 1-0 York in the top of the third, but the Skeeters would answer right away with a pair in the bottom of the third. After Josh Prince walked with 1 out, Travis Scott would break an 0-for-17 slide. Well, the RBI double made it 1-1. Jeremy Barfield followed with a walk, and then Kevin Aarons would get a ball in the air to give the Skeeters their first lead of the night. Well, that would be the only time they would lead in the game, because they would give it right back in the top of the fourth. 4 would score. It started off with a walk and then a single, and then with 2 on, up came Travis Witherspoon. Oh, it was a tie ball game. Greg Lucas on the call there. Then Derek Robinson would get a bunt single, and after Jared Mitchell popped out, we would get 3 straight at bats with RBI, starting with Jose Constanza. Can't stand you. Orion Dent would follow with an RBI of his own. A third straight batter with an RBI. Up step Isaiah Tejeda to make it 5-2. Well, they would score for the 3rd straight inning, which turned out to be the winning run. We didn't know it then. After 2 were down, Travis Witherspoon would single, and up came Derek Robinson, the switch hitting left fielder. And you thought with a long travel day, the Skeeters might pack it in, but there's no quit in his team. Neither team scored from the 6th to the 8th. It went down to the bottom of the 9th after closer Brad Allen came in. He got the first 2 outs, but then he ran into some trouble. Josh Prince would walk. Travis Scott would walk. Jeremy Barfield would crush a ball deep to left field for his league-leading 8th home run of the year to make it 6-5, but the Skeeters would fall a little short as Kevin Aarons popped out to end this one, and the Skeeters lose by 1, 6-5. With the loss, the Skeeters are now 16-13. The Revolution improved to 11-16. And final thoughts on this one, G. Lou?
Well, with the exception of the 2 runners who were left on base by York in the 4th, the inning they scored 4 runs, they really didn't threaten for big innings the rest of the game. The bullpen for the Skeeters didn't allow them a hit. The problem was for the Skeeters, they had a couple of shots, most notably in the 6th inning when pinch hitter Wilkins was up and he had the bases loaded. He represented the tying run, and he ripped one hard to right field, hard, far, and deep. But just at that moment, the wind was coming straight across toward the foul pole, and it helped blow it foul by a number of feet. He later lined out, actually hit the ball very hard right on the nose, and he lined out the second baseman. Now, had either of those gone through, it could have been a whole different game because obviously, as we reported, Barfield hit the 3-run homer in the 9th, and that was just 1 run too short. It was a tough loss for that reason. But it was one loss, and it'll have to be wiped out tomorrow by winning a pair.
Well said. Great point. Our player of the game was Mr. Witherspoon, and he is standing by with her own Andy Humphrey. Andy.
Thanks, Ira. I'm here with Travis Witherspoon. Travis, you had a good night for yourself, 3 for 5, and scored a couple runs, drove in another. How'd you approach your at-bats tonight?
Just wanted to go back to the basics of the fundamentals that I've been doing early on last year and just kind of break into this year.
So you guys got out to quite a few runs in the middle innings. How did you guys string all those together?
Just putting together good ABs and quality at-bats. Coming into this game, our prior few games, we haven't been hitting well as a team. We've been kind of scuffling, not putting together quality at-bats, and so we kind of just wanted to put together good ABs and make the pitcher work and not fight against ourselves.
How do you guys want to approach the rest of this series as you try to climb back into the division standings?
Ride this momentum. I think we had like 26 divisional games left in the first half, and it starts right now, and they're above us right now, obviously. So just ride this momentum, this wave, and continue to pound them and crawl back into this thing.
Well, that's Travis Witherspoon. He went 3 for 5 and was a big part of the offense for York tonight as they win at 6-5. Travis, thanks.
Appreciate you.
Back up to Ira and Greg.
Thank you very much, Andy. So Travis Witherspoon, the player of the game in the Revolution's 1-run victory. Well, that's going to do it for us here. A special thanks to the man running the ship tonight, and that is Nathan, who always does a phenomenal job. Nathan Werner, take a bow, sir. Great job. For my broadcast partners, Andy Humphrey and the great Greg Lucas, this is Ira Liebman saying so long from Sugarland, where the Skeeters lose this one by a final score of 6-5. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Remember, a program reminder tomorrow, day-night doubleheader, 1 at noon, a 7-inning contest, and then 1 at the regular time on Saturday at 6 o'clock. That will be a 9-inning contest. We will see you tomorrow at 12.